All right, all right. So we got Boomer rating us. Thank you, Boomer. You're awesome. You're legendary. I guess let's start things up. So guys, we're just wanting to go over, I guess, the balance changes. Talk about everybody's feedback. It's been a hot topic for a while, and just we have some of the best players in the world here. Fortunate to have known these guys, and I just want to get their feedback, and talk to you guys at the same time and shoot the shits, I guess. And we'll go through order, I guess, from the beginning, where the patch note starts. So I guess we'll start where it's been the hardest nerf so far, which I guess is Rotos. And I just want to get everybody's opinion on it. I guess I'll start off and I'll give you guys my feedback as far as what I think about Rotos' nerf. I think that it's a huge nerf, and I'm sure a lot of people are really upset about it. But the one nice thing that I see about Rotos' nerf is that we're now going to be able to use so many other champions that are single hitters AOE that we haven't been using because everybody and their mother has Rotos on defense all the time. And I don't think he's that broken because if you put him in Savage and Cool Gear, he's still going to ignore 90% defense. So I really don't think the nerf is as significant as people make it out to be. But I'm actually, like, I was upset for a long time, but I'm actually kind of happy now with this kind of nerf. I would love to get you guys' feedback, 4K, and work our way down. What do you guys think?
So I'm first, am I?
Yeah.
So with me, my thoughts is this does not affect the majority of high-end players. And to elaborate to that is when I build a Rotos, I build him with high attack, high crit damage, high speed. He is going to one-shot no matter what. This nerf isn't going to change a thing. Now, a lot of the lower tier players who do 4K attack, 200 crit damage, he's not going to one-shot anymore. That's the big difference.
Okay. Deegs, Kolaru, want to mess, feel free to chip in your thoughts.
I'm glad they're nerfing him because he's vastly overrepresented in Arena, in offense, in defense, in midweek, in end of week. And he's almost, not entirely, but almost defining a defense meta, especially in higher end Arena. And I think it's good for the health of the game to change it up and to force that, however that is, right? They've went hard. They've basically hit every skill that he's got. So they've reduced the extra chance on A1, they've reduced the damage on A2, they've reduced the armor ignore, and added a qualifier for the block revive on the A3. I think it might have been a bit too hard of a nerf, and I've got two, right? So I do use them every now and then. I am invested in it, but I think it's good that he's being changed. A little bit too hard, but I think it's good.
So both of you are taking a positive. Kolaru?
I don't think he, there was no doubt he did define the meta. He is, we are in the Rotos meta right now, no doubt. Because if you look at any arena champ, nukes, and you judge who's good and who's bad, the first thing everyone says is, "Oh, this champion sucks because it's a one hit, so Rotos wrecks you." So he was an issue. I just think removing his block revives, it's made him a bit too niche. This is, our context is high platinum arena, where it's very common to have two revives.
Right.
In mid and lower tier, gold, silver, whatever, he's still going to be pretty good. He's just not crazy strong, platinum level.
Gotcha. Wanna mess? I know you feel very different than all of us, so please do share your feedback because I know you were very vocal in the content creator chat with Diamond. So
right. Well, I think I've been, as you said, pretty vocal on my stream talking to other people that Rotos needed a nerf. Right? He's too good. He's been too good. I think that they are going kind of the wrong direction, though. And I've talked about this before, where having a squishy tank buster, I think, is very healthy for the game, right? But the issue with Rotos was/is his incredibly low cooldowns, right? A2 is on a 2-turn cooldown, A3 is on a 3-turn cooldown, plus grants an extra turn, so it's realistically more like a 2-turn cooldown. So the problem with Rotos is that he one-shot someone, takes an extra turn, A2s, maybe one-shot someone or half-health them, and then literally his next turn, there's a good chance he has it back up, kills somebody else, finishes somebody off. So he machine guns down the enemy team too quickly. So the problem with that is his cooldowns. So I think that they went the wrong direction by lowering the armor, making it, some kind of qualification to do block revive. I think it would have been much better just to really hit his cooldowns hard. Make it 3 turns on the A2 and then 4 or possibly even 5 turns on the A3, so that he retains his identity of he one-shot someone, they die and they stay down. Because right now we have so many like incredible revivers and still not a ton of block revivers. That's my thoughts.
I actually agree with that. I think the block revives was a huge part of his
100%.
kit, and he needed to stay.
Yeah, but it also like leaves champions open. Like what's that that force champ? Or I forget his name.
Blood Gorged.
Blood Gorge. Yeah, now he can see
Yeah,
some
he's
light.
decent. The thing is, the main problem was, in my opinion, is that the one champion that's really hard to kill is Duchess. And
Right.
Blood Gorged is counted on Affinity.
Right. Yeah. No,
So it's just Blood Twin.
for sure. So we'll see how it goes. I guess we'll see when the changes are live. But one of the things that I find very interesting, and I highlighted this in the content creator chat, I said, Diamond, you guys did some testing, right? Because you obviously in your post you wrote that Siphi and Rotos are part of 90% of the teams in Gold 4 and in Platinum. So where
I don't believe that.
So, but no, I'm sure it's individually. I'm sure it's not as a team, because there's not everybody has Siphi and Rotos. That's for sure.
The post said individually or together.
Yes. So now here comes my next point. So I said, Diamond, what did you guys think about Madame Serris? Was that at 100% and you just wanted to keep it at 100%? And they're like, we didn't do any testing on Madame Serris. So obviously she's the next one here on the list to talk about. When I made my leak video, I was shocked that my Russian friend gave me that info that it went down to 2 turns and that's all they're changing on her. And I'm shocked that they actually stuck to it, and I'm glad that I didn't pass out fake news to all of you guys. But to me, I agreed, and I said that this change is a 10 out of a 10, because to me, I was just like, I want this community to grow. Everybody relies on her so very much. To get through progression in different dungeons and, in arena, in clan boss. And I know this is a nerf to clan boss and nowhere else. But what do you like? In my opinion, she is by far the most broken champion in the game right now, by far, hands down. And I think that I don't know, and don't hate me, guys, but the way that she should have been properly balanced was to have her strip be part of her A2 and her defense down and attack down be part of her A3. What do you guys think? 4K, let's start off with you.
Good morning, everyone, by the way.
Oh,
I'm
good
late.
morning, guys.
Hey, Azazzel.
Good morning, Azaz. How you doing, man?
All good. Go ahead, 4K. You have the word, man.
So with Siphi, so what they did is they changed the Terminator fill from 15% to 10%. Now, this does not change anything. Like, this is the worst nerf you could ever do. Like, it's just terrible. Like, who cares about the healing? Who cares about the Terminator? The
We're on
A1
Serris, mate.
is broken.
We're talking about Madame. We're talking
Yeah,
about
we're on
Madame.
Serris.
Well, I thought we're going from the top of the list to the...
I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
see
that's
Siphi.
Manny.
I guess I must have skipped her. So we'll go back to
there's
Siphi.
Siphi, Arbiter, and
My
Duchess.
You
bad.
skipped 3 champs.
I'm sorry, guys. It's 7:30 in the morning
Let's-
for me.
So,
Let's wrap up Madam and then circle back to Siphi.
Yeah.
all right. So, okay, we're doing Madame. Yeah, okay. Same point stands. This nerf does nothing.
It's literally a PvE nerf. It doesn't change a thing in arena.
Manny, are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah, do whatever you guys want. This is like
This nerf fucks people in Clan Boss rip. That's my summary.
Okay, I'm sorry for skipping all these other
Rip.
champs. We'll get back to them.
Yeah, I was sorry. I was zoned out, and I thought you were going from the top of the list, and I was just
I will.
assumed.
I will go to Siphi right after, I promise. So, but
I have
is
a
a hot
slightly
one.
different thought.
This is- go ahead.
Where like I still agree that it doesn't make in like 1v1 arena does not really make a difference, right? I'm not saying I know a better way to nerf Madam, because I don't. But what this really does is hurts people who still use her for PvE, right? People who use her in Spider, potentially like other like Dragon, maybe even Fire Knight, like mid game players who like this is their AoE defense down champion, right? And nerfing it from 3 to 2, if they're doing the waves slowly, they might actually get into some trouble. So I think if they needed to nerf her just to say they nerfed her, this is probably one of the best ways. But in 3v3, like I run one of my teams is like I keep calling it like just a survive and recover team, or I forgot what I was calling it last night because I'm really tired. But not like losing a turn on that will do something for that team. Like if I'm running Madam as a strip because of how slow that team ends up being, it could definitely do something.
Okay. Anybody else have feedback on this really, really hot topic? Because Madame is like the hottest topic on this whole balance update.
I've got some thoughts that might be controversial enough.
Okay.
So there's a clear design decision in the game at a high level in how they've designed content PV or PvE, which is to give the attacker an advantage, right? Examples of that are if you have the same speed, the attacker gets to go first. In PvP, you can basically see their lineup and customize who you want to put against them. They can't really pick and choose who's going to counter you. So there's a clear design in the game to make it easier for the player who's currently playing the game, you, the person attacking, in no matter where the content is. I think it's good that a champion can have the toolkit of strip and debuff, but I don't think it should be as accessible on an epic. I think it as a toolkit, it's a good idea. It fits with their design theme, but being on an epic, you shouldn't have one epic champion, right, with let's say 600 accuracy, outdo 4 champions that have let's say 630 resistance, right? It's kind of unfair for a defense, but the toolkit does sort of fit their style of giving the attacker the advantage.
Very well said. Anybody else want to chime in? Kolaru, I know you have an insane resistance team.
So
never mind. Sorry, go ahead. Oh.
Not only do I hate Madame because I have a resist team and she's bull, but the issue with Madame is like she should be a legendary. Like I'm not saying everyone that's like, oh, they should make her a legendary. Like that's never going to happen. That's a dumb take. Like she's an epic. That's never going to change. Her kit should have been a legendary champion, but then it would have been like, oh, it's pay to win. The issue is that if you nerf Madame now and put like buff strip on A2, def down on A3, she's useless. Like she's just trash. You'll never use her again because there's better def downs. Top tier. There's better def downs. There's better buff strippers. Like you just wouldn't use her anymore. The issue with that is if she goes, the entire defense meta changes immediately because at the minute in Platinum, it's basically impossible to have a single turn meter booster, a strip, then a def down, then a nuke, all be speed tuned. So like if you wanted a big shield, if you have a big shield in your defense, it's gonna f someone else's offense when they try and use a speed tune team because you'll cut in on them. So like she's a crutch, but she's like the entire game's crutch. She's almost like a core mechanic in PvP now. It's really weird. So like you can't really nerf her without like just messing up the entire meta.
That's true. Yeah.
She's like a way bigger part of the meta than any other single champion.
By far. Azazzel, I know you wanted to say something.
Pretty much Kolaru said everything that I wanted to say. And I'm just going to add this. If Madame was not stripping buffs and applying defense down, nobody will know that Elhain is possible to do in Platinum Arena. That's about it. So for people who lack offensive legendaries, you don't. Like some teams are there's zero probability to win. You just can't without her.
Very true.
So something I said in chat that I was meant to say but I forgot. In my opinion, and this is going to sound really weird to people that don't like compete in a high PvP, Serris is the single biggest crutch in the speed meta currently.
Yeah.
If Serris got nerfed properly, the speed meta would change hugely.
Oh yeah.
In the speed meta, well, bigger than Arbiter.
Well, how many?
I genuinely think she's bigger than Arbiter. Yeah.
How many champs would you use to replace her? Like I have 2 in mind, and they're both legendaries. But who would you use?
Like I would probably switch to like Arbiter, Sathalia, Ghostborn,
Yep,
someone else.
that's my first choice too. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting that you guys asked that question because if any of you watch my stream tonight, you're gonna see it. You're gonna witness it all. I never use Madame Serris. I'm probably the only one to not use Madame Serris during reset, and it's not because I'm better than anybody in here by far. It's because I don't have as good. It's because I don't have as good of a Madame as everybody else here. That is the reason.
You're not a farm boy.
Yeah. So, for top platinum, when you're talking about top 10, you're trying to reach top 10 in the world, and you have a Madame that's 685 accuracy. That's a joke. You need to have way better Madame.
It's still pretty good.
I mean, it is, but for teams
that's
like
top 50 good.
Yeah, top 50.
Is that after your masteries, or is that
that's
her
after
base
my
stats?
masteries? 650 without my masteries. So yeah, it's she's not good enough, and the problem also is with Madame that nobody really talks about is that you can have a 650 accuracy Madame, and you can have an Arbiter with 100 resistance and a thick shield, and she'll somehow just be like, oh no, we're gonna resist that, and that does happen.
Oh, we know.
It does happen, but for some reason, it does not happen with Ghostborn unless it's negative affinity. And now, since we have Suzerain in the house, I've been just using him nonstop. So the other side to this is that now I need 2 champions out of my 4 champions to remove shields and put defense down, whereas Madame can do it in 1 champion, and now I can have 2 nukers instead. So yeah, she is definitely really, really, really overpowered. I'm okay with the change, just in the sense that, like, how is everyone gonna play the game without her, with her being trash after, like with her not being able to strip buffs and things like that. But we'll see what happens. What I'm hoping that they do is they introduce other champions that, do similar effects but have another twist to it. But I think we hit the nail on the coffin with this one, unless anybody else wants to say something about Madame.
So quickly, it's kind of semi-related, but back to the kind of more related to Rotos, is I genuinely think Rotos wouldn't be that broken if they would fix his passive so it actually does what it says. So obviously there's a conversation about hitting him under shields and how, like, shields shouldn't trigger his passive. That's one point.
Right.
But say, for example, if you hit a Rotos that has 30k HP with a Trunda, if he has a 5k shield on, he will survive both hits.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to only reduce damage from the first hit to 50% of his health, but currently it's all hits. The way it's worded, you should be able to, with a 2-hit, nuke him regardless if your second hit is strong enough, but currently it just doesn't work, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world.
Oh yeah, 100%, and that should have been fixed a long time ago, and I agree. Whenever I see a Rotos and shield set, I'm like, oh god, it's gonna take like 3-4 hits to like take him down. So yeah, it is definitely frustrating.
That's more of a bug, right?
Yeah, that's more of a bug that they decided not to fix, and they just decided to nerf him to the ground. But again, I think we all gave pretty good feedback on him. I do want to talk about Siphi, and I apologize for skipping Siphi. So I guess I'll start off by giving my feedback. So I guess the way that my Russian friend mentioned it is pretty much exactly what happened to her, except with the cooldowns. They increased the cooldown by 1. So the hot topic with Siphi has been, leave her as she is, make her A1 resist sleep. That's what the general community has been saying over and over and over again. I do have to agree that would have been a really, really positive change. I will tell all of you guys, and you see it on my stream, I mostly use her A1 a lot of times instead of her A2. If I see a Valkyrie in that defense, I'm not using her A2. So
yeah, I A1 first a lot as well.
Yeah, so I think that would have definitely hurt me a lot if that change would have happened. But I think it would have been proper, if I have to say, to be honest. I think what they did here was they made her a little bit less strong, but like I feel like it was just like a Madame Serris nerf. Like nobody's really gonna notice it. All I really have to do is go and make Arbiter 15-20 speed faster, and then she's just pretty much going to work as good as she used to, because the 10% healing doesn't really make a difference, the 15%, 10%, and the churn meter, all I got to do is increase speed for that, and the cooldown, usually you're not going to be able to go and use her A2 twice in an arena battle. So I think they did a Madame Serris nerf on her, which basically means like they left her almost the same as she is. Thoughts, 4K?
Yeah, so 100%, like, they've left her the same. So this nerf doesn't really change a lot in regards to her kit. all it does is change the way that we min-max our other champs to work around her. So, like, the 10% turn meter fill, it doesn't really affect her ability. Like, she's still going to turn meter fill your champs. You just need to have faster champs to work around her. And as you guys said, like, we use her A1 anyway. It's broken. The A1 is broken, and we just, like, you can sleep whoever you want. And we always make her fastest. She cycles through turns. So, like, sometimes when I do a fight, I can sleep 3 champs before they get a turn. It's crazy. But this nerf is not a nerf. This is just a... I'm looking for the words in my mind, what you would call it. It's basically like a here you go, she's nerfed, but she's not really
placebo.
Nerfed. Yeah, placebo nerf. Yeah, I guess that could fill that spot. Yeah, but I mean, like when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this and thinking all this does is it only affects the top tier guys who have to add 10 speed to all of their teams. And for me, it doesn't affect me because it doesn't change my team. But for a lot of people who use Siphi, it's annoying to add 10 speed to every champ, but at the end of the day, it doesn't fix how broken she is.
True.
I will actually disagree with that.
Okay.
And the reason is I got an account with Siphi only on it and rares, nothing else. So I have a starting rare, which was picked as a Kale, and I farmed Spirit Host and War Maiden, and I have something else, Monk. Yeah, there you go. So in 4 days, on a brand new account, I do Brutal Clan Boss. I'm in Silver 2, and I'm close to farming Dragon 20 just because of Siphi. That's it. Just one champion.
4 days.
And a bunch of rares. And that's because I know what to do with her. Guys, in an early progression game, there's no champion that comes even close to that. Yeah, in 4 days, guys.
That's crazy.
If you know what to do with Siphi and you have Duchess doesn't, well, yes, but she cannot speed your team up. Your early game problems is speed and Duchess and heals. You don't need lifesteal gear in Clan Boss with her. That's the biggest crutch she provides. So I'm guessing they nerfed that a bit for the Doom Tower. Otherwise, I don't see any reason to nerf any of these abilities.
Yeah, I was about to say her healing is people like we've talked about it and said her healing is underrated, right? People don't really realize because the rest of her is very strong. But this is almost exclusively a PvE nerf for Doom Tower. Increasing the cooldown by 1 is not a massive deal, but like having a turn, having like what's the word I'm looking for? Having like an extra turn where all these abilities are down when they're trying to hype up how difficult Doom Tower is, lowering the healing, like that's it's meant for Doom Tower. This is not like a kill her in arena nerf, in my opinion.
I've
Go ahead.
noticing a bit of a trend with a couple of even just ones we've discussed so far, right? All of these nerfs are punishing you for not ending the fight in 5 seconds, right? Rotos, you can't block revive unless the fight goes on long enough, right? It changes the dynamic. It's not a fast fight at that point. Siphi, right? You have a longer cooldown on the A2. You heal less. Her healing is actually really big. If you go up against a team and you're not 5-seconding them, the fact that they can heal 15% of their health every time, her A1 attacks gives extra healing, it really delays the fight. Look at and skip to them now, but like the later on nerfs as well, they just cooldown increase and so on. You're being punished in their mind. This is how they're balancing it, right? They're punishing you for not ending the fight early. I think for a lot of people that aren't like us, which have 5-second arena fights, these will hit them the most. The people that are mid to late game, but not like ultra plat end game sort of thing, they'll probably feel it a bit more because now their 2-minute match won't be as sort of safe. They won't have the Rotos, they won't have the Siphi healing, it'll be a bit slower. If the match goes on more than 4 turns, they won't have the full uptime of the Siphi A2. I think it'll hurt those people the most. And it seems to be a bit of a trend with all these nerfs here.
That's actually, that's praise to Plarium more than you think it is. So let's be honest, none of us in high plat really give a shit about Rotos and Siphi. There's plenty of counters to it, it's not that bad. They're strong, but it's not like they're unbeatable. These nerfs are targeted at the gold people who genuinely think these champions can't be beaten. And these are the fights that aren't, like you say, over in 5 seconds. So those fights in Gold 2, where they're like, oh my god, you pull Siphi and you get Gold 4, pay to win. That like those people will now have a much better chance at winning fights versus these champions.
Yeah,
What Plarium was aiming
100%. Yeah.
So like
Yeah, it was aimed for much lower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't balance around us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't care
exactly.
about us, which is correct
And,
thing
like,
to
look
do.
at the
To be
champs.
honest, nobody cares
It's
about
Rotos,
it.
it's Siphi, it's Duchess, it's Madame Serris, right? They're like the most four popular almost champions in the arena. It's definitely going to impact all of those people that we just said. Not really us.
Like don't get me wrong. They should have nerfed her A1. The A1 needs to be
100%.
changed.
It's stupid.
However, the nerf is bigger than it looks. It doesn't seem like much on paper, but like having to add the extra 10, 15 speed than everyone to get in the speed tuned means everyone else's gear is 10, 15% worse. You know, it's the rest of her team can't be as strong, her healing isn't as strong, and her sustained fight isn't as strong. It's a much bigger nerf than it sounds.
And I do wanna add something that people don't really realize. A lot of people that don't have Siphi don't realize this, but when you use a double booster and you use Siphi and like let's say Arbiter, now you used to have a 45% churn meter boost between both. Now you have a 40% churn meter boost between both. But you have to have your nukers so freaking fast to use Siphi because you can't have a 220 speed nuker. You need like them if you're in the 370s or 375 speeds, all your nukers have to be at 250 speeds or higher. And that makes gearing a nightmare.
It's so hard.
That makes gearing
like,
such a nightmare. Go ahead.
For context, post nerf, from the math I've done so far, which might be like 1 or 2 off, my Trunder's going to need to be about 263 speed to be speed tuned.
Jesus.
263 on my nuke champion.
Yeah.
This is the incident.
Everyone else has to be higher.
Everyone's going back to speed boots now.
Yeah. Attack boots, if you have a Siphi, they're dead. They're dead in the water. They're gone.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna make my 252 Trunda with attack boots 11 speed faster without buying or having like 26-star speed glyphs to roll +8s everywhere, you know. So yeah, it's a big nerf. I think the majority of the people, I don't know, feel differently about how it went, but the general consensus is that, you know, the A1, I think most people feel like that should have been nerfed and everything else left the same, and she would have been hit
definitely
very, very, very hard that way. But does anybody else have anything else that they want to say about Siphi?
One thing quickly that needs to be addressed relating to the A1. So currently, and I'm like 99% sure of this, not including stun set, day set, taunt set, that stuff, Siphi A1 is the only CC in the entire game that doesn't have an accuracy check. Like, that in itself is like, yeah, this is broken.
No, I would have definitely...
It has a qualifier, but it's not good enough.
Yeah, I would have definitely rather have them redo Siphi and just do an accuracy check on A1 and leave her as it is, because guys, I'm worried. I'm worried how I'm gonna use what I'm gonna do in arena as soon as these changes go live. Like, I'm really worried. Some of you may not know, but I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars farming Spider. And I know this is a little off topic, but I still don't have a triple speed roll banner on Arbiter or Lysandra. So I rely on...
I got mine yesterday.
Yeah, so I rely on Siphi because of her base speed and how fast she can be, just so I can compete in top platinum. So yeah, to me, this is a very, very hard nerf, but you know, it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. They're not going to change it. I guess, should we move on to the next champ?
Yeah,
let's go.
Okay. Arbiter, I don't really have much to say.
You didn't say shit.
Yeah.
What?
Siphi, opinions, go.
What? I already talked about. Did I not even talk about? I already talked about her.
I think we missed you, didn't we?
No. Remember how I said the term, it's a PvE nerf mostly, in my opinion.
No, you did.
Like, I mean, I guess I'll just really quick again. I don't know if I can make some of my champion, like, I don't know if I can make my damage dealer literally 10 to 15 speed faster right now, right? So I'm gonna have to figure out something else. I can put my gear on Arbiter and I'll actually be faster. But the issue is that I'm missing champions, right? Which is why I pulled a lot of shards this weekend. I don't have Blender. I don't have like a Lysandra for the really high quality second turn meter booster. So I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with Siphi nerfed. But we can move on.
R.I.P.
All right.
Do you have a Trunda?
No. By the way, on that topic,
Yeah, guys, you got a Trunda?
I'm telling you, Manny, there's somebody who watches my stream. I can't remember their name right now, but they're gonna contest you for the strongest Trunda in the world. I guarantee it.
Really?
Yeah, they're very close. They just need some really high. I can't remember their name.
Are you talking about Slinks?
Yes, I think it's
yeah.
Slinks. Yeah. As soon as he gets like a real pair of attack percentage boots and some speed glyphs, he will have a better Trunda than you.
Yeah. Let's wait until that happens. For now, I stand for the world record holder, so I don't care. I don't care about the soon. Show me now. Anyways,
no wheel was in here.
Nope. Stop it. So Arbiter change, I don't even know what to say about it. I will let you guys talk about it. It's a bug, I guess. Whatever.
Did Arbiter get changed?
Well, no, it's a bug fix apparently.
It's a bug
right?
fix.
Yeah.
So when I read it, Manny.
Bug fix, move on.
Fix the bug that had Arbiter filling the turn meter by 30% instead of 20% as the skill intended. So
I didn't even realize it was a thing.
Had no idea.
Yeah, I had literally no idea that happened.
I do want to go over Duchess because she hasn't been changed. But what in the world did that happen to Polarium that out of every single balance change in this list, they reverted her? I know they did it
I know what it
because
is.
of Clan Boss, I think. But go ahead.
I know why they did it. Because Cartman's playing rare again and he complained. It has to be. Come on, prove me wrong.
All right. Koronar. Oh my god.
This one pissed me off.
This one got me livid. I did not believe Mother Russia when they told me this. It's bizarre. Koronar gets like less than 10% usage rate if I had to imagine. Like who when do you see Koronar being used like almost anywhere? Like
yeah, he's
literally
shit.
one
He's
guy
really
in
bad.
Plat does it. No, literally one guy in Plat uses him for the TM stuff, and it's Zombie Lord. He's
Well,
the
that's
only
with,
guy I've
but that's
seen in
with
reset.
Manaya. That's with Manaya.
Yeah.
Without Manaya, he's useless.
He is. And I think they purposely did this because I feel like they want us to suffer in Doom Tower. And you know that there's ways that in PvE that we can really take advantage of that A1 with the turn meter. If we have
They
fast
were going to
enough
be great.
speeds. So I think that's the reason. That's what I said when I leaked out my video. It has to be for Doom Tower because what other possible reason did they do this nerf? But this is a huge significant nerf. This is probably top 3 like worst nerfs in this entire list. I think beyond the Rotos and Siphi, I think this is the 3rd most damaging nerf.
I think it's the first, mate. Honestly,
First. I would agree. First, he was gonna be amazing for Doom Tower. He's like not good for Arena, and now I don't know. This is the nerf that upset me the most out of all nerfs. This is my number 1 hated nerf on this entire list. I would love to get you guys' feedback.
I have strong opinions.
Okay.
Cool.
So, Koronar's a Void legendary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like apparently one of the most in-demand / rare champions you can get in the entire game. He's already underpowered. If you take Koronar, and people are going to be like, oh no, he's not, he's so OP. If you take Koronar on his own, he's super underwhelming. His A1 has a 50% chance to drain your turn meter by 10%. Okay. Like his AoE, cool, whatever. And then his A2 has a taunt, doesn't do anything. And his A3 is an attack down with a little bit of damage. Like he does low damage. His CC's not great. And then he's got like an okay debuff. Like that's it on his own. He just all. If you pair him with Manaya, suddenly they become this like absolute powerhouse tag team duo. But rather than nerf the pairing, they just nerf Koronar. If they were going to be so OP in Doom Tower, just fucking nerf the pairing, don't nerf the champion. It's that simple. And not only that, assuming, and we all know, I say assuming, we all know it's Doom Tower is the reason they got nerfed. The fact that you need 2 specific legendaries and one of them is a Void, like, why nerf that? It's not like it's going to be common enough that it really matters.
I am Ian K makes a great point in chat. He says, imagine facing Koronar in the Void Tower.
I mean,
but if the Koronar in the Doom Tower would have had no CC sets, there would have been counterplay to it. That'd have been fine.
They can add it
you think they're going to add
as a
sets?
difficulty. Yeah.
You think they're going to
Why
have
not?
people like wearing gear that we fight?
They're not going to
No,
add sets.
I don't.
They're not gonna.
Oh, it's not going to be added.
What they're gonna do is they're gonna make them like level 400, level 450 in hard mode, like stage 100. They're gonna just have ridiculous damage, ridiculous.
So it's going to be like a 2 million HP Koronar.
I promise you that's how they're gonna do it. They're not gonna go and put sets on these champions. I mean, that's too much effort for them to do that.
But that's just a challenge in PvE. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like the pairing got nerfed for like the players using it in the Doom Tower as like a just team beats everything combo.
Right.
But like, what tiny percentage of the player base has both? Like, of all of us here, let's be honest, we're all whales. Who doesn't have Koronar Manaya?
I mean,
I don't.
Okay.
I'll just say this. I'm missing 13 champions in total out of all voids and out of all legendaries. And I don't have Venus, so I don't have that combo. And I don't have Belanor, so I don't have that combo. But I do have the Koronar Manaya. So it's like, it's very
same. I've got
hard.
it as well.
It's
but like,
very
it's super rare to have both. It's super rare.
Super rare, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but
So why
I
does it
think
matter?
their line of thinking is not to allow people who have them to just cruise through the content.
And I agree.
Because
100%,
if
I
the
agree
tower
with that.
designed the way it was designed, you can outfit both of them in such a way that they will just beat all the stages.
Absolutely, they would have been insane.
So you have a number of people, I don't know, 100, 200, whatever, who will clear all the content immediately.
But you can nerf the pairing and fix that rather than nerf the champion. That's
We're
my
talking
point,
about
like-
Plarium here, right? So
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, the morons. Anyone with
That's
half
how
a
they
brain
do.
could have done this, but they got the work experience kit
Edit.
to be like, oh yeah, go ahead and nerf Koronar for us.
Oh, man. All right. Anybody else want to say anything about Koronar before we move on?
I've never fought a hard Corona in arena, and that says something about the challenge that he presents with Manai. Even I've never had a challenge like, yeah, it's very hard to beat, but it's not OP.
Yeah,
I think he actually needed a buff by like on his own, right?
100%.
he did. That's one change that I wish they reverted, but it is what it is. All right, so I guess let's move on. Finally, when I pulled Blind Seer, I was pissed off. I was like, I don't want this, because like I knew about her, and I just knew that she was just gonna revive everybody and die. That's how I knew Blind Seer. Without having her, that's just what I knew about her, And I never seen her being used anywhere whatsoever. So I'm glad they fixed that. I'm glad that she doesn't die anymore. It would have been nice to have the block damage also put on her as well, to make her like kind of overpowered in a little bit in a sense, because she is a void legendary. But again, to remove the self-sacrifice for me was huge. To add the block debuffs first is also really, really quality of life change. So it's huge. They also changed her aura to be universal defense down in all battles by 34%. I really love the changes in Blind Seer. If I would have had like a genie to make a wish, I just wish that she would have had some kind of churn meter boost involved with her as well. So that way it's like not just, I have Siphi only. Now I can also have Blind Seer that gives me a 10% boost as well, because she has a 115 base speed, so she has the highest base speed in the game. That way, you have two champions. If you're not lucky enough to get Siphi, you also have Blind Seer as another option. That's my opinion on it, but overall, I'm very, very happy with the change.
oh yeah,
It fucking sucks.
I love it. I love what they did with Blind Seer.
Okay, with Blind Seer, like I have a very big history with Blind Seer. She was the second ever Void legendary I pulled ever. So back in the day, back before a lot of people started playing, when they first ever did a Void 2 times, I wowed out for that weekend, man. I went hard, and all I pulled was a Saint Nick and a Blind Seer, because there's only like 6 or 7 Void legendaries you could even get at the time, right? At that time, when you're early mid-game, Blind Seer was good. Like, she carried me. She helped me do my Arbiter mission. She helped me through Ice Golem 20s, Spider 20, Fire Knight 20. She does work, man. But once I hit endgame, she was terrible. Horrible. And the main reason was she kills herself. Now she doesn't kill herself. So is she better? Yeah. Is she top tier? No. But at least she's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good way to put it. Deegs?
So I won't say spoil. Everyone should have read the damn patch notes by now, but one of the cool things I think in this change and a lot of other champions is they've finally rearranged some abilities where if they have a block debuffs and a shield, they've switched them so the block debuffs goes out first. I think that's, for me, the coolest change about her. I haven't ever used her outside of faction wars because I pulled her quite late into my account. I think Kolaru is right. If you have this champion, as an early game, mid game, or even towards the late game player, it'll be really great for you. It'll really help you survive and sustain in fights. But she's better, but I don't think great yet. She's now at least, I think, proper Void Lego level. I still won't use her, I think, after this, unless there's some really cool strat that Infinite comes up with.
Infinite.
Let me just make it that clear, right? When he finds out what it is, I'll consider using it, but until then, I can't think of anything. I'm shorter cooldowns, block debuffs first, sure.
I don't want to jump too out of turn, but what are her? She has 45 basers, so kind of compared to Raglan, right? A lot of people run Raglan in a really high resistance team because she has the very low cooldown revive with high turn meter. I could see Blind Seer finding some use in a resistance stall defense, right? Reviving dead allies with block damage on the entire team other than her. If the Blind Seer passes the resistance check and you kill somebody else, assuming you don't have block revive, which you should bring against Blind Seer or teams like this. But if she gets off a revive, then block damage on your entire team, oh my goodness, that is going to be absolutely terrible to fight against.
I think with the prevalence of Madame Serris, it might not be as devastating since the H will come around and possibly strip those buffs.
Exactly.
I'm just playing the fight out in my head, right? That's how I can see it happening. I think you've got a good point, though. There might be some cool niche use in resistance stall teams, but
Fellas,
I don't know.
Fellas, Swift parry Blind Seer, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That again, we were kind of talking, maybe this was before the podcast actually went live, but we were talking about 3v3 teams. We're getting a little off topic here, but that could be a real sort of joke defense to catch people off guard, right?
I have seen one in 3v3 and I wonder if he's running Swift parry.
Yeah.
I think Boomer makes a good point. Even in a resist stall team, your other two options are Duchess, Raglan, Duchess, Raglan, Siphi. All three are better than Blind Seer.
Yeah.
You think Raglan will be better than the new?
I think Blind Seer still sucks, honestly. I think she's bad still. My issue with her is the fact that she hurt herself on the revive basically meant nothing because it has a 5-turn cooldown. So you're not doing it twice in a fight anyway. And you revive your entire team at 30% HP with no turn meter. Even with a block damage buff, it just means nothing. I think she still sucks. She's really, really good for progression. And as soon as you hit the end game, she's useless.
Yeah, and I do want to chime in on Azazzel's point of view because he was there live when I got her. Oh boy, my camera went down. He was there live when I got her, and he told me, he's like, "Hey, now you can clear faction 21." So
she's really good for that. Yeah, she's really good in faction wars.
Fix my camera, but yeah, I found that pretty funny.
Unless you want to speed run.
You can do speed run as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I took her out for the speed run.
Yeah, I did the same. We had a little sort of competition between us speedrunning Dark Elves. We got to 2 minutes and 4 seconds, I think, was the best time. And it was basically without a Blind Seer. I took Blind Seer out of my team like these guys to get that time. Just above that.
This
I
is
actually did that
Dark
as well.
Elves 21.
Yeah.
I actually did it as well. I got 250. I didn't post it because there's no reason. You guys
Smacked you.
I don't have Xavier. There's nothing I can do.
I didn't use Xavier in mine.
How did you do? Okay, let's
Two
talk
cold
about that
hearts.
later.
Yeah, let's stick to topic because we don't want to make this too long of a podcast because we're uploading it on YouTube for people that missed it. Okay, anybody else want to say anything about Blind Seer, or are we moving on to the next hot
Warlord.
topic? Yeah. Okay.
Boy.
All aboard,
Big boy.
So my question to you and to the chat, to everybody
Hype
here is,
train.
what was Polarium thinking with this change? I
The age of man has come to an end.
Are we going in order?
I'm dumbfounded. That's my goal. Like,
I fucking love it. It's a
Okay.
pure meme.
Tom
It's
said
gonna be
it
so
perfect.
fucking toxic.
4K thoughts? Dude, cheers, man. Thank you so much.
What do I think of Warlord's
Thank you.
nerf?
Yeah, no buff. What do you mean nerf?
Yeah, that's what I'm laughing right now.
Oh, okay.
We were worried, weren't we? We were like, what are they doing to Warlord? What are they going to ruin? And they helped. They buffed him. So this is cool. Like, I'm pretty sure he got a cooldown reduction on his. He got a cooldown reduction on his godlike skill, the skill that destroys you in arena, the skill that can lock down an enemy team and just keep you A1, 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 A1 forever. And they reduced it. And then they gave him a buff to his HP in his shield ability. Like, it's not a massive buff, but it's enough to make it comical.
Yeah, I feel like now everybody can build like a infinite hurricane team. Like they're just stuck in the middle and just getting cycloned for like 15-20 minutes, even easier than before, you know? You guys have posted screenshots of going against Infinite's team and being like 15-20 minutes in that team. I feel like that's going to open up a lot more of those kind of defenses. I'm confused at what happened there, but I don't know.
So anyone that's in Plat, I've had a Warlord defense for the past like 4 or 5 months straight, and I'm constantly outspoken of what a great champion Warlord is, because he's just the most frustrating thing to deal with on offense. And when it came out with the list of who was getting buffed and nerfed, everyone was like, right, it's one of 3 things. It's either a buff to his A1 for Clan Boss, which is like, cool, whatever. It was changing his A2 so that it would put block debuffs up first, which happened, which would have been a good enough buff on its own, or it was a nerf to his A3. And not only did they buff his A2, they also buffed his A3. And I'm all aboard the hype train. Completely unnecessary buff, but I'm all about it.
Okay.
Hype.
Hype train. There you go.
What about 1MS? How do you feel about it?
I've been waiting. I've been biding my time. I've been pretty reserved before. I'm going on blast. Plarium is a bunch of morons for this. This is the dumbest change out of this entire patch notes. And it's not just because I don't have a Warlord. This is, I cannot believe
Deep Warlord gang.
how can they think I saw Warlord on the patch. I was like, okay, cool, man. I saw this coming with the A2 where they move it around because he's a void legendary. He shouldn't freeze people against Torment, etc. I was like, okay, some kind of nerf is coming on the A3. Either they're increasing the cooldown by 1, or they're my thoughts were that the better change was to just completely remove the chance to reduce turn meter, right? Because it's just such an insane ability. You put all skills on cooldown, and then it's a 60% chance to completely take away their turn meter on like crazy ability, incredibly hard to fight against. If you go like what Manny was talking about, I posted a 15-minute fight picture against Infinite's team where I went first. I went before him and I killed like his damage dealer on his team, but then Siphi, somebody, and Warlord. The fight took 15 minutes because of how annoying Warlord is. Now they go and they reduce the goddamn cooldown. Are you
Outplayed, son.
If you go second against Warlord, if you go second with this change, you cannot recover. Like before, you can like on a 6-turn cooldown. I think it gets booked down by 1, you can recover. It takes a few turns and your fight is slow. I think now, literally on a 4-turn cooldown when booked, I don't think you can recover. And I think that is an absolute terrible change. I cannot believe Plarium did this.
Wow.
Rant over.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for telling
So
us
you're
how
not
you
a fan?
feel.
It's so
Chat
funny.
chat disagrees.
Yeah.
You mean Pluto? That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chat disagrees.
I have a 334 speed Warlord that I haven't been able to put on defense. So maybe
Because you have no
that-
accuracy on him.
I do.
That's how you've been that fast.
I
You
have
have
like
300
350 accuracy. I don't-
That's nothing in Plat.
Oh.
You need 600, bro.
All right. What's up?
Like,
with my
everyone's
camera? I
DPS is
don't know.
resisting you.
Okay, let me fix my camera. But all right. So anybody else have chime in on Warlord?
I think we all agree it's a ridiculous buff that was totally unnecessary. But I've got 2 of them, so it's hilarious.
Necessary, unexpected. He needed it. He's a void legendary. Let's be real, guys. All the void legendaries that are not at Siphi level should be buffed. Let's be real.
Yeah, let's make all void legendary Siphis. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'm gonna.
But yeah, like Warlord with the big clap. I think Warlord is right. The issue is if you're slower than Warlord, you just lose. And anyone that doesn't have their Warlord set up to A3 first on auto, you shouldn't be allowed to have a Warlord. Like, it should be taken away from you as a crime. Because this is, like, the best champion. Yeah, arguably the best arena champion in the entire game.
Hedgie counters that team easily, because as soon as Warlord loses HP, then he needs to use A2.
Not necessarily.
Easy clap.
No, sometimes
I fought some Warlord that still use. I fought a Warlord where I had Rotos go first. I A3'd, I killed somebody on their team, and then chunked Warlord to literally like a quarter health. He still A3'd me.
His AI changes when one person's dead.
Yeah. So when he's super low health, then he'll use A3. But if you drop like 25% health off or whatever, he'll use A2. He wants to heal, but if he's like below 50%, he'll use A3.
Yeah, his AI is a bit iffy if you take damage first. But like, if you have a Warlord and you're listening, put him in immunity gear.
Trust me. I've trained on
easy
Infinite's defense. I've spent hours fighting Infinite's defense. I know how Warlord works.
All right. I guess anybody else want to say anything else? By the way, sorry for the technical difficulties. I have 3 extra batteries here. For some reason, my camera charger is not working, so I'll change that if it happens again. I guess Crutrexa next.
This one confused me. This is not what I expected.
Yeah. So, Crutrexa. Attack one enemy. Has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weakened debuff for 2 turns. Has a 75% chance of removing 2 random debuffs from the target. Grants an extra turn. Let me see.
I can tell you how it
this
works,
buffs to 100, by the way. This buffs up to 100.
So currently, if you book her, it's at 75%. This is her pre-book now. So once you book her, it's 100% chance of placing weaken, 100% chance of removing 2 random buffs.
Okay, so
which is decent, but the issue is,
by the way,
who is building accuracy?
Build accuracy, she's stripped. She's a 4-2.
Builds accuracy on her.
Exactly.
Yeah,
she's like the opposite of a Trunda.
Yeah,
she's like the premier single target. You're gonna die champion. She's better than
the other guy as well.
Now, since Rotos has been nerfed, I think she's the top tier single target champion because she was, and then Rotos came along, and now she's back on top.
Yeah.
Like it can't be understated just how good her damage is. It's insane. Like she'll delete anyone in the game. Pretty much
100%.
I think
3 shields.
Yeah, I think even at least I spoke to people and some of you guys in GNL that were a little bit surprised that we didn't think she necessarily needed it. But considering most people probably don't build her with enough accuracy to actually do this, it's probably not a massive change. But it's just a nice little. I think it's fine. Like
it's a decent quality of life change, but it's not. It doesn't really change a thing about her, to be honest with you.
Well, in my opinion, it removes the chance. So if you got accuracy, she will do what she needs to do.
Well, like,
before,
I don't think
you still have
So it's a PvE upgrade, you say?
Yeah, like a quote-unquote good Crutrexa doesn't have accuracy. She just builds full damage.
Yeah, so now...
I was expecting a change to her passive, which is pretty, to be honest, it's really bad. But yeah, like, it's a decent quality of life change, but it doesn't really change the champion at all.
Yeah, the Revive on Death passive is a pretty bad passive in general because, like, she revives and then dies again straight away.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
All right, sorry, I'm fixing. I'm adding a battery to my.
I think we've covered that. I don't think there's any more to cover on Crutrexa, just because nothing's really changed.
Yeah,
other than the percentage to land a debuff and strip a buff.
The thing for me with Crew is that if you want to strip a buff. Because she doesn't place debuffs, the buff you want to strip is a shield. However, the A2 hits... It's
also a single target.
Yeah, but the A2 will hit like 100k plus. The A2 will break the shield before it strips it. So, like, what does it matter?
Yeah, I've seen some, like, when I've put my best Savage gear on crew, I've seen like 250k hits in arena. Just insane numbers on the A2.
She wrecks
And
anyone.
Then the A1s are like 30 to 40k. And then you add that up, and that's another 160. So you're looking like 400k damage on 2 champs. It's insane.
She's an absolute monster, and she's been like slept on for so long.
Okay, Gurgoh's next.
Okay, this is I put in a dead battery, so I'll probably have to keep having technical difficulties, but I'll fix that in a bit.
Your camera takes batteries?
Yeah, but it's supposed to charge, and something's up with the charger right now because I left it overnight on by mistake, so that's what I'm dealing with now. But I'll fix it in a second. Not a big deal. Yeah, so I'll fix the camera. But either way, let's go on to Gurgoh. Let's not let that disrupt the podcast. So he has such a good change. I love the change on Gurgoh. I think he's going to be meta now. I really do. They increased his random buffs from 1 to 2, his base speed from 92 to 98, and his cooldown reduction from 6 turns to 5 turns. I mean, Jesus, like, this is so good. This is so good because he's a Void Legendary, you know?
At first, I wasn't sold, but then I thought about it some more, and it's good. At first, I was salty that it didn't strip all buffs with Z2, whichever one is. And I was like, oh, why can't I just give him proper strip? But then I realized, like, assuming you take the first turn, the only 2 buffs they have up are shield and immunity. So, like, it's effectively a full strip. So it's good. It's a good change. He's a good champion.
It fixes Chris community teams.
Yeah,
exactly.
it does.
Like, he's a good champ.
So when I first started encountering Gurgoh in arena, because let's be real, he's an arena champion, right? No one's using him in faction wars. I don't see him in any other content. He's an arena champion through and through, right? His base speed is crap, and he removes 1 buff and has a chance to freeze. Now he removes 2 buffs and his base speed is good. Before, he was really hard to build. Now he's pretty convenient to build. Like, if you put your best speed accuracy gear on him, you can delete teams if you're fast enough. Like, if I had a Gurgoh and I put him on my defense and I put my best gear on him and I put my Siphi in the fastest gear, there's like 99% of people in the game, unless they have a hedgie, that aren't going to be able to have a turn against that team. Like, it's pretty decent. Like, it's not a bad skill to have. Gurgoh, he's very usable now.
100%.
He also, because it places a freeze above the strip, assuming you have good accuracy, like you say, he actually enables you to run like a really, really slow nuke champion. So, like, you can run like a 120 speed Trunda or like really, really slow Foley, and he will effectively speed tune because they're just CC'd. So even if they get a turn, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
I think he's really good.
I think that
and he hits surprisingly hard.
The issue with him is that, and I mentioned it before, is his stats. He needs everything. He needs, attack, he needs speed, crit rate, crit damage, accuracy. So you kind of, you can't build him, you have to pick and choose. Do you want damage or do you want CC? You're not going to be able to get both if you want to push very high with him. That's my
And
thought.
let's be honest, the answer is always CC.
Yeah.
The only other champ that comes close to that is Ray. So you take your pick. Do you want damage or do you want accuracy or CC, as you say? And I think Gurgoh has a advantage here with his
The fact that he's void.
The fact that he's void, yes, and that I'm pretty sure he does more. He doesn't do more damage, but he gets an extra turn from his ability.
Yeah, he'll do less damage to the team, but more damage to one person.
Yeah, I have 2 Rays.
He's like a sniper version of Ray.
Yeah, I have 2 Rays. I used it for a long time. We talked about Gurgoh previously, and I was not a fan of giving him full strip on everything. Not purely just like, oh, don't make Ray useless or anything like that. He's still a Void Legendary, but I think that the changes are really good. They lowered the cooldown, 2 random buffs now. Well, like people were talking about, if you're going first, they generally don't have more buffs than shield and maybe immunity. I think they did a perfect job with him, and I think we'll see a lot more of him.
Currently,
go ahead.
I think the only person I see using Gurgoh is in Platinum, is in Kai.
He actually stopped.
I think he stopped, yeah.
but he used to use them a lot in like his standard defense, and it's less relevant now. Rotos is being nerfed, but not only would he like strip and CC your team, chances are the damage of that and his A3 combined would actually kill your Rotos straight up. Like, he does reasonable damage even when built for accuracy.
Welcome, Infinite. Thank you for joining us on the chat. One day, hopefully, we'll have you on voice. He's everybody. Just so everybody knows, Infinite's very shy. I love saying that.
Just roast him.
Yeah, Infinite's really shy, so let's give him
humble
spotlight on a public platform.
Infinite is humble.
Infinite's the wizard.
No, he's fucking not. Infinite flames me daily.
Yeah.
He's not humble. Oh, he only flames you, man. Come on, he's humble to me. He knows who the true OG is.
Hey, man, Infinite got the smile that you know.
It's got the smile that makes the many girls wow.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, so I guess that covers Gorgoroth. Anybody else want to say anything else, or
Gorgoroth?
I
Gorgoroth.
I maxed my Gurgoh out just because of this update. So, like, clearly, I think he's good.
Okay.
Like, the fact that I've preemptively put resources into him from reading these patch notes.
Gotcha.
No, I think it's a good buff. I do. The base speed itself makes a lot of things easier.
I'm not sure why they put Alika in the same list as the legendaries, but if there's one epic I only want to talk about in this podcast, it'll definitely be Alika. I think
maybe she can be booked to be 100% chance to increase cooldowns.
Yes, it is 100% booked.
It is. So that's a mini Warlord ability, but very cheap one. But that's not what she's amazing at. She's amazing at her A2. I have her maxed and booked. I think she's an incredible epic, and I think now with that Rotos nerf, I think she may actually see the spotlight quite often because she can one-shot pretty much anybody with her A2 because it ignores so much defense if you put her in Savage. Let me see where I have her.
Downside is Alika requires literally 20 books.
18, yeah. I think 18, but...
No, it's 20.
It's 20.
It's 20. She takes 20 and her sister takes like 19.
So that's what Polarium thought. Polarium's like, you know what? Let's buff her because we want them to spend. We want you guys to spend 20 bucks on her.
I'll be honest though, with this buff, my barbarian team is pretty slow on 21. I think I will literally fully book her to speed it up and potentially even use her in arena, like because they're making it 100%, but at a base it's 6-turn cooldown, and they're making it a 4-turn, and there is a -1 cooldown in her books, so it's on a 3-turn cooldown to attack all enemies, 100% chance of increasing cooldowns, right? Like that's pretty good. Solid.
Budget Warlord, I like it.
Yeah. Look at this.
Get out of the way, Basher.
I mean, this ability right here, her A2 being on a 2-turn cooldown, you build her semi decently fast. I mean, she's gonna kill any reviver. Do
you think she could be like? I know you literally just said the words, but do you actually think she could replace Rotos?
In low elo, yes.
In low arena, yeah, for sure. Because and also she's force. Everybody has like the best AoE damage dealers in the game are all magic, so everybody tries to have a force tank. For that reason, especially in platinum, and I'm sure in gold as well. So I think she's very underrated. I'm definitely gonna be making a video on her just to show you guys her full potential. Because this being on a 2-turn cooldown is just insane. With Helm Smasher, she ignores 100% defense. So that's just with and Savage. But either way, we'll move on. This next one, God, like I'm confused by Elder's Skarg. Like there's so much going on with this champion. I don't, maybe somebody can take the floor with this because I don't have an opinion made yet.
Has anyone ever used him?
So I just pulled out a Skarg recently, and the thing about his special skills, so he attacks one enemy 3 times, places an extra hit for each buff or debuff on the target. So he places an extra hit for each buff or debuff on the target, and he can place up to 3 extra hit. And he places a HB burn. Now, the thing that has changed is he steals all the buffs from the target after attack. So now he's a buff stripper. He wasn't a buff stripper, but now he is.
Okay.
That's with his A1.
Is that with his A1 or his A2?
Hunt the Marked is his A2.
Is his A2?
A2?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's his A2. Okay.
That's his A2.
So now he can steal buffs on his A2.
That's the change in A2. A3 is such a long ability, but go ahead. Keep going, 4K.
He places a 60% increased defense buff, and then he places a fear debuff on all enemies, plus a true fear debuff for all targets under a block damage buff. So very conditional, very useless. Decreased speed debuff for 2 turns on targets under a shield debuff. Again, very conditional, very useless, because if they have shields, why do you need to decrease speed? Because you know you're coming in with Madam, you're going to strip it, you're going to nuke it. Like, you don't need to decrease speed. The fact that these debuffs cannot be resisted is pretty good.
It is.
I mean, but you would only use him on a slower team, assuming that you are going against like a Roshguard or now a Blind Seer who's going to place block debuffs. There's no other reason why you'd want this ability. But he also places a provoke debuff on legendary champions. Now, if this cannot be resisted, if this ability cannot be resisted, this is an OP ability. Also places a provoke debuff on legendary champions for 1 turn. The prefix to that sentence is these debuffs cannot be resisted. Now, if that does not have an accuracy check, he is insane.
It's not going to have an accuracy check is my assumption, because they're not going to just leave an ability with these debuffs cannot be resisted and one can be resisted and the other one can't. That's not their track
Exactly.
record.
So now he can provoke. Now he can place a unresistible provoke debuff on all champions.
Yeah.
This is next level.
Yeah. this is
And
next
obviously we'll get back to that, but let's finish off the final bit. He used to receive 50% less damage from legendary champions. Now he inflicts damage equal to this champion's attacked when attacked by legendary champions. Now, I'm not sure if this is just his total attack or if it's multipliers included and crit damage included. If it's multipliers and crit damage included, like if he basically counterattacks when he gets hit, this is insane. So we're saying he can place a provoke debuff on anyone unresistible and then counterattack for full damage. Really? Out of Skarg? This guy is doing this sort of stuff? Crazy. Just crazy.
Yeah.
If it can crit.
If it can crit, we don't know. We don't know what it can do. Like, if it does damage, great. If it doesn't do damage, okay. But the fact he's A2 could potentially place a unresistible provoke. Wow.
Yeah, he has tons of potential, but we have no idea how it's going to play out yet. So, like, I'm kind of hedging.
Very conditional. Very conditional.
But let's just say this: if his A3 Elder's Clarion or whatever, if this ability right here has an AoE provoke that cannot be resisted, that's just gonna make him broken. That's gonna make him so broken, because now I can have my Trunda like literally like at 180 speed if I want and just make him super fast, and he's just gonna AoE provoke, and I wouldn't even need a second. I wouldn't even need a second booster.
No, you just run Siphi, Sathalia, and then Elder Skarg super fast, and then Trunda.
Yeah.
That's when you use Crutrexa in your team, and then A1 just one shots him, and everyone else isn't taunted anymore. Big brain.
Exactly. So I think
I have a slightly different. Sorry to cut in, Manny. I have a slightly different view. So we don't know if I would assume they would make the provoke. You can't resist it, right? Because that would be very silly to just add that on afterwards when all of his other debuffs can't be resisted. We still need to see how it works, and then with like the new inflict damage, etc. But I'm not a huge fan of the provoke, honestly, because if the champion dies, like, I understand it's still a fantastic debuff. It will still mess up the enemy team, but if he dies, then provoke drops off, right? Depending on the team you're running him in, since he doesn't need accuracy, you would build him like really fast, and then actually you would maybe try to get some crit stats and some damage in there, right? So if you're building him like mostly damage but really fast, he could get attacked and die off pretty easily. So due to the fact that he's an attack champion with low defensive stats, I'm not a huge fan of him getting provoke.
I don't know. I mean, you can build him with a shield set. You can build him any kind of way if that. You have like pure like freedom to build him any way you want if you don't have to have an accuracy check for his provoke, which changes everything.
But like, so in a more in our standard arena meta, right? Why would I run him just to fear and provoke when I could just strip and defense down, right?
Yeah.
I know that's not a reason to never use a champion. Like he can still, he has like his base HP isn't terrible. You could find some use for sure, but I'm not sold on it yet. I think he's one of the champion. Like we didn't really talk about this, where some of these buffs, some of these nerfs, we'll have to kind of actually play with them to see how they feel and how they turn out. Where other ones we can just read and be like, okay, this is broken. I think we'll have to really play with him and see what happens.
The only place I could see using him, like let's say like I run a standard Arbiter, Lysandra, Serris, nuke, right? So you could run an Arbiter, Sathalia, Skarg, and then you could have a super slow, as was said, you could run a super slow nuke, everyone's provoked, everyone takes a turn, and then your nuke gets a turn. That's the only reason why you'd want to use him. Like if you want to have a big bomb go off that's super slow, like 7k attack, you don't need to run a double turn meta boost or stuff like that. That's the only reason where he would be viable, just to provoke the team and make sure they don't get a turn. Just very conditional. So it's not like meta, it's very conditional.
Yeah, like Blood Twin.
So I want to point out, like, so I was sitting back for this conversation, right? We were just saying, like, how long ago was it? Like 40 minutes ago. Siphi's A1 is broken. It's the only irresistible CC in the game that has no accuracy combined into it. And now we're all going, oh, we'll see how this one goes. It's AoE provoke.
Yeah, exactly.
It's AoE Siphi A1, guys. Are you serious? Do you not see the potential in that?
Exactly.
I hate
Holy guys. Just run him like he replaces Siphi in like a speed team. Don't worry about double boosting. You can't resist it. Easy clap. Holy
partly because I have a resist team, but also like that ignores resist shouldn't be in the game. Just remove all of it. Remove Ghost Spawn.
I agree. I don't like the idea either.
Suzerain.
Yeah, and
I like
that.
This is
a huge
insane.
advantage.
This is insane.
Resistance already.
Yeah,
like stop nerfing
resistance.
I
said it's broken.
Siphi for months.
I said it's broken.
Now we get an AoE Siphi.
We have our superstar in the chat that agrees with Deages. I mean, come on, guys. Like this is. Let's just see. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be not. I'm pretty sure the provoke's gonna be added in there because I've never seen a tooltip on any single ability read. Oh, this ability can be resisted, but this one cannot be. So we're gonna take it as it is. I'm going to be doing testing immediately as soon as I have him fully booked. I have him ready to go. Like, I will be immediately testing him right away. And if he is an AoE provoke that cannot be resisted, he is going to be extremely, extremely broken. I definitely see that happening.
I pulled a dupe of him last night, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm ready as well. Like, who cares about speed shooting for the Siphi cut, bro? Just run Elder Skarg and Siphi's gear. Easy clap. Like, problem solved. It's gonna be good.
All right. So,
that actually, like, I know now that we kind of. Sorry, I know.
I'm glad I pulled one.
Go for it.
But now that we kind of talked about it, okay, I'm coming over. I'm coming over. I don't think they would ever like add it on and have it not be part of the unresistible, right?
If the AI uses A3 first as well, my 3v3 defenses are going to pop off. It's going to be great.
All right. I think
he uses A2 first. He uses A2 first, by the way. Yeah, it's already been confirmed. He's
really?
A2 guy.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of
so
hilarious.
you can't use him on defense.
We'll see if we can find a way.
All right.
No, it'll be conditional.
Okay. The champion that all of you guys think right?
He does.
He does.
He's so bad, it's unreal.
But I feel like, all right, besides Elder Scar change, because Elder Scar change I would say is the Draco change in this patch notes, if it is exactly how we're reading the tooltip to be. But Candraphon, he's another
Manny, can we pause for a minute so you can read that name properly?
Candraphon. Candraphon.
Candraphon.
One more time.
Candraphon. By the way, guys, I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, which is my sleeping day for this, so I apologize if I'm a little out of it. The dedication to bring you guys this. All right, so either way, passive effect. Damage increased by 40% while under Veil or Perfect Veil buff. So that stays as it is, right? Receives 40% less damage under Veil or Perfect Veil. Also boosts this champion's turn meter by 15%. Each time this champion receives damage under Veil or Perfect Veil. Does not work if this champion is the only champion alive in the team.
I'm pumped.
Okay. This is huge. Active effect. Places a Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 1 turn. Each time the enemy's turn meter is filled, this buff cannot be removed. So he got his own Veil, I guess, right?
So
if I'm reading this right.
I got really, really excited for this one because I thought I had a 5-head strategy. So when I read this, I read that passive, and it was like, place the Veil on this champion each time the enemy's turn meter is filled. I took that to mean like when they have 100% or when they take their turn. So I was like, put him in immunity gear, put him against hegemon teams, and he's like a counter hegemon because he'll get a turn, he'll Veil himself straight away and like pog. But Infinite then pointed out it means no, it means when they boost turn meter. So rip my dreams.
So there's and additionally his A1 used to have this really terrible condition where he would only extra hit if they're under attack. Now it's under any buff. And then his On the Hunt got 30% speed, 30% crit damage. I'm not sold still, right? Like I've talked about this on stream. We've talked about it where all they needed to do, literally, make Candraphon perfectly viable. Take away the extra turn on his A2, like remove that. Make his A3 do these 2 buffs, Perfect Veil, increase attack, and then give him an extra turn. That's all he needed, and he is perfectly viable.
Yeah, they rather than make him like a generic nuke champ, they've made him like a go second champion.
Yeah.
Which I guess is an interesting change.
It is.
I think he's gonna be really, really good in lower relo. And I think he's still gonna be worthless in plat. Which is good overall. That's a good change because everyone gets to use him. Like if he's good for 90% of the player base trying to build like a go second team as a speed meta counter, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I think like I had this weird thought, but it's just too dangerous of like intentionally having him like 1 or 2 speed off of being speed tuned. Like with my team, so that the enemy team, like their primary boost cuts in. Probably wouldn't work against like Siphi teams, but like if an Arbiter goes and then just does increased attack, and then if my Candraphon goes, then boom, I blow him up, get the extra turn, double hit with the A1. But it's of course very risky to untune your own team to hope that the enemy team isn't perfectly tuned, right?
Right, and that takes away the speed that you want to finish the team in, which is the most important part of Arena, is how fast can you kill a team.
Yeah.
I
think he might find some use though.
Yeah, no, for sure. So his A1 also got changed. Places an extra hit on the target if it's under an increased attack buff. If
any buff.
Yeah. So now it's any buff. So that's really nice. On the Hunt, which to me was a useless ability. I don't know. Let's see. Places a Perfect Veil, 50% increased attack, 30% increased speed buff, and 30% crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. I like that. I mean, they made On the Hunt better than useless, I think. Now it's a little bit better.
I think it's still useless. You get more buffs,
it would have been nice,
but you never use the ability.
To grant an extra turn would have been nice, but then it would have been broken. So, anybody else want to say anything about Candraphon? I think definitely a really good buff.
I think, in my opinion, if you don't read his kit and you're not prepared for him, and you go against him, let's say you're in like low gold or mid gold or even silver, someone pulls him, they build him up nice. You go against him and you don't know his kit and you get smacked by him, you're going to be surprised by him because he's going to wreck some lower tier players.
I'm ready for the Reddit posts.
100%.
I think he's going to be a really good option in a team designed to go second. He's still kind of useless in a traditional speed nuke because he's not going to buff himself. He's not getting that veil up on himself.
First of all, he can't AoE, so you can't expect him to be any good in traditional speed.
He does AoE.
His A2 is a big AoE.
Big AoE.
Is it double hit? Double hit?
No, it's not
No,
a single hit.
So
But
yeah,
Rotos is
it's
dying.
useless. Rotos passive
However-
is still alive.
Yeah,
I-
but it's
I
not
have,
killing.
mixed
It's
feelings.
not blocking revive. You know what? I'm
So,
not concerned about that.
His passive, 40% decreased damage when under veil, sounds fantastic. On paper, it sounds absolutely amazing. However, he's an attack-based nuke. If he gets hit, he's still going to die, regardless. If he gets hit, he's dead. There's no two ways about it.
I could see running him instead. Like I run for 3v3. I run like Duchess, Mountain King, and Heavy Shield, and then right now it's
Yeah.
Rotos. I could
He's
very
going to
well.
be great in a shield team.
Yeah, I can see
100%.
totally Candraphon replacing Rotos after the Rotos nerfs on that team for me, for sure.
I think pairing with a Duchess, maybe even
I'm
pairing
gonna
with a
try him
stalwart
out.
set, but with a Duchess, yes, more damage reduction. Anyone that does damage reduction, it's going to stack. It's additive. It's going to do some things to make him survive more.
I'm
Yeah,
going to try him.
especially if you running him against the magic nuke. There's also added chance of weak hits. So
Yeah, and like Infinite says, his A1 is lethal. It does hit hard. It really does hit hard. So he's got good multipliers as well.
Yeah, Candraphon has one of the highest multipliers in the game on his A1.
What are his base stats like? Manny, can you bring them up?
Oh, sure. Of course.
They're decent, I think.
1,500 attack, 96 speed, 17,500 health.
Okay, so they're not great, but they're not terrible.
Yeah, pretty average for.
Yeah,
17k HP for a attack-based champion is bad for nowadays standards, but back in the day, that was pretty good.
Because
No, I
it's Tron that
disagree.
skews it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's just that Trunda's is broken. Trunda has like HP champion for no reason.
She's 22,800.
Her base
Fucking
stats.
insane.
are
What's
fucking
Saint
whack.
Nick's HP? Like, what's Saint Nick's HP?
Like
ridiculous.
25k.
So it's the same as Trundle.
It's the
It's
same
exact.
as
It's
Trunda.
22.8. Holy
is-
shit!
it is the
Oh my
same.
god.
He's a
Oh, yeah,
HP-based champ.
Mate, do you guys want to hear a fucking meme? So when you 6-star ascend Candraphon, he gains 10 accuracy. He literally has no debuffs. Why?
Wow.
Oh man! All right, let's not go
Does
off
his
topic.
new kid?
Let's not go off topic because we wanted to keep this not too long, so that way most people can watch it on YouTube, and this can be a thing because we want this to be a thing.
The next star is Tommin the Cold.
Yes. I guess I could start, and I could say that despite what the general people think, I think this is a buff to him. I think that I hate Tormin because I want to get away from using Siphi, and I feel like that's my only protection against this champion, really. And I think the fact that they buffed it up from 15% chance to freeze somebody and unlimited amounts of buffs to 20%, but only up to 2 buffs, I think they made him stronger than
It's
weaker.
100% a buff.
Absolutely. Especially against
So,
Arbiter teams.
My point is, just tack onto that, is name a single champion that boosts turn meter and gives you more than one buff that doesn't block debuffs.
Not one.
Not a single one. It's the exact same versus everyone in the game right now. So they just gave him a 5% freeze increase. There is no other change.
Yeah. I do you guys think do you understand why this happened? Like what their thought process is?
I couldn't care less.
They're gonna bring out new champions that are gonna make Tormin not as effective
Hey,
against them.
Whoa, no. Shamrock is going to be better versus Tormin. Pog.
I just pulled Shamrock last night. New meta.
He's worthless.
Oh, I just looked at
Still
it. and
no
I pulled
meta.
Sniper. God damn it.
Shamrock is not worthless. He's a decent champion now. Come
He's
on.
good. He's good for faction wars, and that's the only. That's actually like these days. It's actually a good thing to say because there's a lot of champions that for faction wars.
Yeah, Ogryn Tribe is really without certain key legendaries.
I feel like Grush just makes it kind of a joke now, though.
Okay.
And I don't even have him. And I literally, sorry, didn't mean to get off topic.
No, go for it. No, yeah, because we want to. So, I personally feel it's a buff. I don't think it was needed. I think maybe leaving him the way that he was okay. Let's see how it plays out, but I disagree with this change. That's my final feedback.
So, tinfoil hat time. I think they did this because they can't code his passive properly. This is their this is their easy way out.
This is setting up for the Foley fix. You watch.
Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, can we move on? Bystophus. So.
Oh, actually, sorry. Quickly before we jump on.
Of course.
Someone in chat makes a good point. So Tommin got a slight buff. However, there's a bunch of meta champions that now counter Tommin. So overall, it's kind of the same. So all those fixes to block debuffs and shield, they all counter Tommin, obviously.
Oh yeah, we got all those champions that got fixed.
The fact he got a slight buff is actually more or less fine.
Oh, it's an Arbiter nerf. It's the Arbiter team's going to get ruined by this.
Arbiter's wrecked.
Which I think is fine.
That was their intention with Tommin originally, in my opinion, was everyone complained that Arbiter was too OP, no one can beat Arbiter. So here you go, here's Tommin. And then it was like, oh my god, we can't beat him.
Yeah.
We're running the exact same team and we can't beat him. He was way too good on release, that's for sure, though.
I think after the first nerf, he was fine.
Yeah, I agree.
So the week he got released, this was a long time ago, right? So the week he got released, I built up my Tommin really quick, fused him really quick, made him really strong, good accuracy, good resist, and I finished top 30 or 40 in plat without even trying, just on defense. This is before you could get rewards or chests or anything. This is when plat was first around, and this was just on defense, just with Tommin. He was crazy back in the day.
Yep.
All right, Bystophus.
So Bystophus, his A1 horror now I guess has 35% chance of placing a true fear if the target's under block cooldown skills. So does that make much of a change? It's an A1 after all.
I think it does nothing.
I think it does nothing. So Crumble, which is the ability that a lot of people have been talking about, why is this ability not an AoE? They made it an AoE, and I guess let's. So the wording that they wrote here: attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing 60% decreased defense for 2 turns. Also has a chance of placing block cooldown debuff for 2 turns. So I'm guessing
I think that's super good.
It's just all times before targets are random. Now it's all targets. That's all they changed, right?
Yeah. So go ahead.
People will complain because it's not 100% chance. However, it's AoE def down and AoE block cooldown skills.
Yeah.
It's only 75% though.
Yeah, because it's both buffs individually. It's not a 75% chance to place both. Each one has an individual role. So you're almost guaranteed to place at least one of each buff.
Exactly.
I think it's an amazing skill.
Yeah, I do too. I know that his multipliers weren't that good before because I put him in crazy gear and I tried to push up and I could barely do anything with him before. So I think this is going to be a good change. His base attack is the highest in the game at 1795. So I'm wondering what that multiplier is going to be on that ability, because it went from attacks 4 random targets or 4 times to 1 time AoE. So we don't know what the multiplier is going to be like. So, but
his original multiplier for the attack 4 times a random is 1.4 multiplier. If they don't increase it, it's going to be super, super low for an AoE.
Yeah.
Ridiculously.
So for people asking, why isn't it 100% def down? Look at every other champion that has an AoE def down. Okay, so you've got 100% chances are Dracomorph, Stag Knight, War Maiden, Serris, that kind of thing. No one that has 100% def down hits really hard. Ray has AoE def down on Ray 1, but it's a 40% chance. If
you made it getting buffed to 100.
If you made it 100% chance, and had it hit like a truck, that's already crazy strong. If you then added in a chance to place block cooldowns, he's one of the best champions in the entire game. It can't be 100% because that would be just crazy broken.
Right. No.
They need to fix his teeth.
Oh yeah, his skin's awful.
It's too cartoony, man.
It's fluoro.
It's the low graphics.
If they just toned it down a bit, it'd be fine.
I think it's the low graphics setting that I have. Hold on.
Oh, low graphics. I get.
Let me see.
No, he looks really. I'm looking at him right now because I've been pulling up champions as we go. It looks really bad even on Ultra.
Yeah.
I'm going to end with. I'm still not going to use him over Serris.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yo, this is
absolutely.
how the
I was
whole
gonna say, right,
podcast
fuck
is
it.
going to be. The whole podcast is going to be, I'm not going to use him over Serris.
So I do have a question for like kind of everybody here. So if you go back and we read his A1 horror, right? So attacks one enemy has a 50% booked up to 65 to place the block cooldown. Do you think his A1, so if it places the block cooldown, do you think the secondary part now of adding the True Fear will work if he places the block cooldown first, or do you think they will also need block cooldown on already
Like in
beforehand?
the same turn.
In the same turn, yeah.
I don't think so. I'm sure there's someone else that has a similar ability, and you have to like so. Koronar, here you go. Koronar.
Yeah, I was gonna say Koronar.
His one is like if they place attack down. If they have attack down, it places decreased defense, but it will only ever do attack down if he does it first. So I don't think it will True Fear on the A1 immediately.
I'd be interested once they release it to see how it works, to see if they stay true to that or not. And like him doing that on his A1 wouldn't make or break him, but I just thought it was kind of interesting.
The thing is, though, the issue with that, it's like it's fundamentally flawed. So if you're under block cooldown skills, you can only use your A1. So if you True Fear someone who's already in block cooldown skills, you're not really gaining anything. You're just stopping their A1. It's like it's not a big deal on 95% of champions in the game. So like, who really cares?
All right.
Yeah, someone in chat just said the exact same thing.
No, but if their cooldown is 5 turns, and you block cooldown skills for 2 turns, and they use the True Fear, and then their skill gets block cooldowns, then it's a 5-turn cooldown. Because True Fear puts a full cooldown.
Wait, but they couldn't use the True Fear couldn't extend the cooldown because they couldn't use it while having.
Yeah, but it was only a 2-turn cooldown at that point, and then if they try to use it and then get feared, then they're at a 5-turn for their full cooldown.
Is the True Fear an extra duration? Then no, because the True Fear is also 1 turn.
The True Fear, when they go to use the ability, then they lose the ability and it goes on cooldown.
No, I know, but like the True Fear and the cooldown skills, they're the same duration, so they both expire at the same time, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, but if they, what I'm saying is, okay, 100%, you got a point there.
Should we move on?
Yeah, so it's a buff, but it's not huge, I think.
Yeah, that's the conclusion. Norog, I believe,
Bystophus.
is next. Because we're skipping epics. We don't have time for epics.
I'm going to annoy some people here and say, who actually cares about Norog? What is that champion meant to be? Who gives?
So I know that he has the highest multipliers as a defense champion from Murder's videos. I know that his A1 is nice to have. I mean, it's useless. His A1 is useless right now. It would have been kind of cool to leave it at 85% chance to block cooldown skills for 1 turn, rather than make it a 40% chance of placing a block cooldown that's going to be booked up to a 55% chance. So, but it's an improvement for an A1 for sure. And I think that he has probably single-handedly one of the best passives in the game, and they just made it even better. So decreases all the damage taken by all allies under 1 or more buffs by 15%. Decreases the damage taken by all allies that are under no active buffs by 25%.
So he's like a Duchess
Yeah.
in damage.
He's like budget Duchess, yeah.
Yeah. So for people who didn't pull Duchess but have pig, they can use the pig now. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, he might pair decently with Candraphon in the Go second team.
Yeah, and he places block debuffs as an AoE. Block buffs, which is not bad. It's a great AoE. I don't think he's a bad champion. I mean, and he has crazy multipliers, and he's defense based. I don't think he's meta by any means, but he's not terrible. I think this is definitely a nice improvement.
I don't think he's a bad champ either by any means, but I don't think, honestly, because if you're going to run a defensive team, you want buffs. The fact that he has an increased multiplier on those no buffs, he doesn't really help you unless you're guaranteeing that you are gonna get smacked without any buffs. So he's like a hedgy counter almost.
Yeah. So my thought on him is, so if you're making a go second team, you have to have a shield set. So you're only getting the 15%. You're not getting the full 25%. And the other argument is, oh, well, when you get buff stripped, he's gonna stop your chance of getting one shot. But if you've been Serris and had your shield set stripped and your defense down, his passive is not going to save you. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, you're still
So,
dying.
the only time it would matter is if you had like a Norog and a Duchess on the same team and then got stripped, and then Duchess might survive versus some badly built nukes. But like that's so niche. Like I said, who honestly cares? I think he's an irrelevant champion, and he will remain an irrelevant champion.
Okay.
No argument there.
Anybody else?
Same. Like, the design doesn't even make sense. If he's going to go second and reduce the amount of damage you take, right, and then play some block buffs, like, what's the point? The enemy team's already buffed up and nuked you. Like, what are you blocking? I don't see why, like, how he works. Yeah.
Maybe he should strip one buff and place block buffs, and maybe he should activate a 25% block buff if you have a defense up and something like that. I don't know. His kit is just whack.
Yeah.
Phoenix in chat brought up a good like, we're not, it is strictly PvP that we're kind of talking about, but like, we already talked about him. I guess we talked about him last time on the podcast, saying he's fantastic for like early to mid game dungeons. But kind of like this change doesn't massively affect that, because what dungeon do you run even as like an early to mid game player where you're not buffing your team, right? It's all about like apothecary doing speed up and like, I don't know, attack up and stuff like that. I don't think it's a massive change, but I understand he's quite good early game for dungeons, like with the 40% aura and then blocking buffs and stuff.
Actually, so 1 point, his A1 clan boss can't be affected by block cooldown skills. So there's one less trash debuff on clan boss if you run a Norog team. So that's
fair.
A very, 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 very slight buff. However, a clan boss Norog doesn't build accuracy, so it's relevant. Like, it's just such a bad change to a champion that already does nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what I know Norog for is having the highest multipliers as a defense champion, and I guess he remains to stay that way. Not have much usage, I guess, you know. Not too happy with this change, I guess. Overall, I'm exactly by your feedback.
I agree with Deages. Like, the champion, the design philosophy just doesn't achieve anything. Like, what is he supposed to do?
Guys,
whatever that job
like
is, he doesn't do it.
They had no idea what to do with him, so they threw some buffs, quote unquote, and just called it a day.
Yeah,
100%. They phoned it in.
All right, should we move on?
Yeah.
So this is the reason I spent $600 yesterday, which I regret now, thinking that I have the chance to actually pull this champion.
Always the regret the next day.
Yeah, I woke up today saying
Only 600?
Yeah.
600? Only?
That's a lot, man. I'm trying to stop whaling completely, man. This is like the whaling is taking over my life, man, my finances. So, Dark Elves, Astralith, I really, really wanted her because of freaking Infinite. I wish sometimes I don't know Infinite, because Infinite like sits there and just sometimes sends me a DM and he's like, hey, this is magic right here. And I'm like, all right, I'm going for it. He's like, you need Astralith and Vizier, and you can do some crazy stuff together. So I guess let's talk about it. So Heart Rot, which is her A2. Now, this is the only champion that can place 2 bombs and not have it resist out of anybody. So there's no accuracy check for her. I think that's definitely super niche, and that's a huge, huge buff. If you do have a Vizier that can spread the buffs, I think it's meta changing for your account. I think if properly used right. I know when Infinite has these ideas, they really are something special. I again, to pair that together, to have that and to have a Vizier that you're not going to use for clan boss is very unrealistic. So I mean, let's just talk about her change and her change only. Nothing to do with pairing her with anybody. I think it's a nice improvement, but she used to be trash. I don't think she's trash anymore.
Manny, on a scale of 1 to 10, how dumb do you feel for having released a bomb video just before this change?
Yeah.
Like, you can use my account with the Astralith Vizier chest if you want to, but I don't see it being great.
No.
In theory, if you built a crazy high accuracy Vizier, you could run it as like a slow counter to resist teams. But like, there's already so many counters for those.
Yeah.
And this one's arguably even more niche.
It's true.
Does Vizier need accuracy to spread?
Yeah, he does.
He does? Okay.
Yeah,
I've literally never tested him outside of Clan Boss, so...
Yeah, so I mean, it's nice. I mean, it would have been broken, right? If this was an AOE bomb, it would have definitely been broken if it couldn't resist.
Yeah, I think she's going to have some niche use. I think it's interesting. I just don't think she's like S tier.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a bigger picture sort of comment to make here, which is this patch specifically seems to have a bit of creep in this debuff cannot be resisted, right? This is the second or third one now. We have like a small handful in the game before, and at the high level of play, it's absolutely insane, right? Being able to completely ignore someone's like 9 to 12 months of farming resistance gear, I don't think that should be in the game. I don't think that this change might make her a bit more niche useful, but like I don't agree with the change itself, right? I don't agree that we should have more cannot be resisted in the game.
The philosophy is flawed.
That's all.
Because there's nothing like, there's no champion.
But
where, like,
Astralith is useless.
apart from Norog, how many champions do you have where it's like, this champion is immune to defense down? None. There's no one that's immune to debuffs, so why should you ignore resistance?
Yeah.
I hate ignoring resistance. It's
Well, I mean, you're again, not everybody spent months farming resistance gear like you. I certainly haven't.
Well, no, true, but everyone can build resist. It's not exclusive to pulling a specific champion.
I think gear should beat champions. I don't think it should be the other way around. I think the idea that a champion can just completely negate gear is a wild concept when you consider how much time is needed to farm that gear.
Especially when accuracy already has such a big advantage.
So is she going to be meta? No. Is she going to be more useful?
I think she might be a low elo terror, because she does have a speed aura, which is like a big deal pre-Arbiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's got turn meter boost in her A1. She's got the health swap thing. So, like, maybe she becomes like a low elo, like, viable pick. I don't think she becomes... She's definitely not S tier. She's maybe like a B or an A in, like, gold.
Yeah. That's a fair assessment. Does anybody have anything else they want to say about her? No. Move on. Move on
Yes.
to the one. I think he is the best cleanser in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Boomer here. Sky Touch Shaman.
Where is he? I think he... we're talking about
Removes old
Smashlord.
debuffs, places block debuffs, heals. It's a pretty good ability. It's a shame that the rest of his kit.
Why can't they make his A3 crit?
Yeah.
He'd be good then. It's so simple.
I'm so bad at finding champs, guys. So
Just look at them in the index, Manny.
Yeah, just use your index, mate. It's faster.
I'm not a morning person. What is he again? Undead?
Skinwalker.
Skinwalkers. Okay. So what did they really change on him? So I guess removes all debuffs, then places block buffs on all allies. Is that not what he used to do before?
I think they're just changing the wording, but I don't think he froze you versus Torment anyways, right?
Yeah, he got the generic Torment fix, but apparently he already was fine versus Torment. I think his is just a tooltip change.
Okay. All right. So that's not much. And then here in his A3 now, it's 25% self-sacrifice versus 50% that's currently on right now. Which
is like a PvE buff, because you're not going to use that ability more than once in Arena. So that's
that
Yeah.
might be a Void Tower buff to him slightly. So like he's not going to kill himself as often in Void Tower. So like put him in a stun set. He's going to AoE. He's going to heal your team. He's got a stun as A1. I think he's a potentially quite a good Void Tower support.
I think his A2, now that he only sacrifices 25%, his A2 might keep him topped up, assuming you're, lapping the waves, right?
Yeah.
What is his aura, man? Is it all battles?
His HP, dungeons. So I wonder
dungeons, yeah.
how that's gonna work with Doom Tower. Is it gonna be like its own aura inside there, or is that gonna be?
I'm
going to
guess all battles.
All battles, right? It's gonna be all battles only, probably aura.
Only because if they made their own auras, they would have to go back through a bunch of existing champions and give them Doom Tower auras.
I mean, that's what they did for Faction
They're not
Wars.
gonna do.
But like, I think the best indicator
did,
of what it
true.
will be. The best indicator is if you go to your what's the button, the battle button. You've got campaign, dungeon, faction wars, arena, clan boss. They're all very explicit areas of the game. Doom Tower is going to be a new window next to that based on their video last week. So
Yeah.
I don't think dungeons or whatever will fall into Doom Tower unless it says all.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be all battles.
Okay.
Just because Polarium's lazy, they're not going to make a bunch of new auras. But I think he's going to be good. So like his A1's got a stun. His A2's a really good heal and cleanse and block debuffs. And his A3, it doesn't do much damage, but like it's an AoE hit, so you could put him in a CC set if you wanted to. Or like it's just it's an okay ability. So I think he's a decent champion. They made him slightly better, but it didn't really change what he does.
And he has.
Would you
decent
put him in a...
stats.
Oh, go ahead, Manny.
No, go ahead.
I don't value putting... Like, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. I wouldn't put him in stun just for one single ability, right?
It depends how good Doom Tower. It depends how hard Doom Tower is. You might probably not. You probably have him like immortal and speed.
Yeah.
But like it could be an okay option.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Manny. Sorry, man.
No, you're good. Don't ever apologize. You're fine, brother.
I'm Minnesotan. I have to apologize.
You're good. Does anybody else want to say anything or about Hakkorn Smashlord?
Mr. Smashlord. I don't think they really changed much with his ability other than the fact he doesn't kill himself now as quick. Other than that, he's kind of the same.
Oh, actually, I have one more complaint. He's called Hakkorn Smashlord, and he does not smash remotely hard enough to be a lord of it.
Hey,
He's like Hakkorn Smash Peasant at best.
He just does a different kind of smashing,
so
He's not got the Unga Bunga down.
it's all right. So here's something funny. So we all
How did they rate him on Naomi Love?
we all compare Manaya to Murder Inc. Right? I mean that's a fact, right? I so believe in my mind that this is how Infinite looks.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing.
This is Infinite,
Yep, I'm
and this
aboard.
is they made a champion based on Infinite. Infinite,
Like,
if you're
not
still
including
watching,
Rai.
this is
Infinite's
you.
like top 3 hottest GNL members.
Yes.
For those of you who
Top
don't
one.
know, Infinite's
Top one.
Oh,
Infinite's
right.
a fine piece of ass.
Yeah, he is, bro.
The list goes
He is.
Infinite, Rye, 4K.
Yeah, Murder should be up there too, man. We got
Number 4.
a beauty pageant
Number
going on in GL. So I didn't even bother reading anything of. I guess Infinite's not here, or he's too shy to talk right now. It's okay. So I didn't read anything to do with this champion, just simply because I don't have him. And I guess does somebody want to take over talking about this champion
So
and the changes?
he's a meme, right? Before we discovered Bat Eater, he was a meme. And then we discovered Bat Eater going like 1 keel to Nightmare, and we were like, we regret putting him in for the buff list because now they're going to ruin it. And to give them credit, they didn't ruin it.
Okay.
However, outside of Bat Eater, I don't think he's great still.
So I guess his A2 places a decreased defense and a weaken. Debuff for 2 turns on one enemy, then attacks them. Places a increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns if this attack kills an enemy. Okay, so pretty much a single target Draco on his A2, and they changed that to places the same decreased defense, then attacks them, and then places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 2 turns. Okay, so pretty much they make. So now he's gonna veil when he does this. Okay, so he's gonna decrease. He's gonna take less damage, right? That's the only change in this ability, I think. Which I don't understand.
Do you think they're telling us that Veil has a better damage reduction multiplier than decreased defense?
My issue with this is like, so it does decrease defense and weaken. That's really good. Great skill. Cool. And then put the tack up buff on this champion if it kills the enemy, which is like 9 out of 10 times is not going to kill the enemy. So for a start, 1, who cares there? And then 2, if he's getting increased defense when he kills something, why does he need a veil? And if he's not killing it, why does the veil matter? Like, what does it actually achieve? You know?
I'm dumbfounded by this ability.
Because he's never going to be an arena champion. It just doesn't have, kit isn't right for it, despite the fact they clearly want him to be. He's okay in clan boss. So like, if you're using him in a non-unkillable clan boss team, which is like very niche, he could be like a shit Draco, then sure, I guess it's okay because the veil will keep him alive a bit longer. But I don't know. I don't feel like it does anything. It's one of those buffs where they just put something on the skill for the sake of it. To be like, hey, look, we gave him something new. And like, yeah, but who cares? What does it do?
And his overkill ability, I mean, what? It reads differently. Attacks one enemy will heal this champion equal to any surplus. So now instead of healing, he's going to damage with his surplus?
Yeah, he gets like a mini Draco A1.
Okay, and then the big thing with him that I've been hearing about is his tactical partner, ability. So what does it read right now? Attacks one enemy, places a 5% poison debuff, 50% decreased attack, 30% decreased speed, and a 50% decreased accuracy for 2 turns with Xavia. So now activates this champion's sword leaders. Sword
That's
leader
his
skill?
A1.
Okay. And then also activates Xavia's poison rain skill when Xavia's on the same team.
I like this. This pairing is now decent. It used to be trash, and now it's like at least kind of good.
I did hear that it can't, if you have like him and multiple Xavias, I heard it does not proc both of the Xavias though.
So we will test that when we see it, but who said that?
I don't remember who. It was somebody that I would actually like trust their opinion, but I don't remember who.
No. It would have to be like from Polarium for us to know.
Yeah. So what I'm feeling is this is going to be like a mini blender, but I'm also in Wantamessa's corner when I'm saying I don't think it's going to proc 3 Xaviers to proc this skill because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I hope it does. Yeah. I hope it would, well, but
no. I'm pretty sure one of the Discord mods said they've already had that question and they already answered it as Polarium.
Yeah, I think Gremlin asked. I think Gremlin Boy asked them.
Yeah, it was either Gremlin or Arjun MD asked. I don't remember exactly which one, but only one Xavier will activate.
So this partnership is going to be really, really good. That's good.
Decent.
All right, that's good.
Might be cool.
Any other feedback on it?
I think he was on the list to like because he's been considered very bad for a long time, and then all of a sudden we found this, or not we because I didn't, but people found this use for him in Ultra Nightmare, so they were kind of like, well, we can't really like give him real buffs now. So I think that's why we get kind of these weird buffs. I think that's my opinion. That's my opinion on it.
The next champion is one that I feel is going to be meta. I'm going to definitely be trying to use this champion in Platinum. I love this champion personally. I really, 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 really like this champion a lot.
I wonder why. Look at the size of that crossbow.
Yeah, I mean, look how beautiful she is.
She was my first legendary.
Really?
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 of them. So first off, we finally have her decreased defense ability working as intended, which is 100%, which is super, super awesome. But I don't really care too much about this, to be honest with you, because no one's going to build an Abyss for defense down with accuracy. You're going to build her to nuke like crazy. So how much of a change this made? Not much in my eyes.
It's great in Faction Wars.
Yeah, it's great. That's been the meme. Me and Boomer were talking about it.
It's not a meme.
No, that like if a champion's good in faction wars, they're like a trash champion because that's the only place that they're good at. That's what we were talking about yesterday in stream.
You know what really annoys me? People are like, "Oh, this champion's really good in Dragon," and like, "Oh my god, yeah, great, pull this champ." But then they'll be like, "This champion's really good in faction wars," and they'll be like, "Lol, who cares?"
This champion's
you can
really
do
good in
Dragon
clan
with
wars.
like,
Like same thing, right?
yeah. You
Can I
do
butt in
Dragon
with something here?
Sure.
Yeah.
I have the world record Sacred Order run here, and I don't use Abess. Just saying.
But you might do now.
Ow.
I already have Abess. Maybe once she's buffed.
So her A3 hits like a truck. And now, if I'm understanding the wording correct, it deals an extra 30% crit rate damage if the target's attack is highest. Ignores 30% of the target's defense if the target's defense is highest. So is this both, or is it just one or the other?
Well, it would work both ways.
If
If there's such a target that has more attack
that has
and defense,
Gotcha.
it's difficult to find.
So it's either or. So it's either or, pretty much.
So against against really high level waves, it could probably do both because they just have crazy high base stats, right?
Right. So the ignores 30% on an AoE. Let's talk about how many champions have an AoE that ignores defense.
I can't think of any top of my head.
Okay. So she's going to be the first AoE champion to have an ignore defense as long as you don't put defense stats on her, right? So
Assuming you get like Savage on her, she's potentially going to be really good.
Exactly.
It has decent scaling. Like it's not like Trunda level scaling, but it's pretty good.
Right, but think about the fact that Rotos is not going to be in the picture much anymore. I can promise you that. And now she's going to have you can put her in Savage, Helm Smasher, and 30% ignore defense. So you're talking 55% automatic ignore defense, high multipliers, plus the chance of proccing Helm Smasher, plus if the target's under defense down already. She can very easily be meta, guys. In my mind, I am so excited about this change. I'm very excited about this change.
I think it's a good change. Definitely a solid buff.
Okay.
I think this is another one where we'll kind of have to playtest her once the skill has been changed to get a feel for how hard it hits now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's really good on paper, but kind of we need to see the evidence before we say too much.
Yeah, but
Because like Manny, you put her in good gear and then put her into like a dragon run, right? A couple streams ago or maybe a while ago, and it wasn't anything too impressive, right?
Right.
Yeah, I've done similar. I put her in like quite good Savage and Cruel gear, and she was like decent, but nothing crazy.
Okay. Anybody else want to say anything about Abess?
Infinite loves Abess, even before the change. So maybe there's some wizardry that I'm not familiar with, but
yeah.
I'm not sold on it so far.
Yeah, when
She can one shot waves in dungeons if you build her up. That's why.
For sure. I guess next one's gonna be Gurptuk. I mean, they just fixed him properly, I guess. I mean, I use him for Spider. So now
now he doesn't kill the team.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean, he's much better, obviously. He should have been released this way to begin with, I think. But I don't have much else to say about this change.
Well, they're changing his A2, so you can't take off his poisons, right?
Which is good because its AI kind of messes up his own poisons.
Right.
Yeah. I honestly, I think like Gurptuk is not great right now, right? And this is not going to make him crazy good, but I think I might actually, I don't know, with the new Grush guy, I think I would probably still just use Grush with my team. But for some people that have a Gurptuk, again, we just talked about Faction Wars. I think he will be significantly better in Faction Wars now.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good now. Like, he's not amazing. He still does his one job. Let's be honest, his one job is speed farming Spider.
Yeah, I use him. I mean, I use him. I don't think
he still does that well.
Yeah.
And I think he's now viable in Faction Wars.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's a slight improvement, but it's not.
It is.
It's not huge, but it's not bad.
Yeah, because the 5% poisons were killing, like when I was trying him in Faction Wars, they were like killing my team so quickly. So maybe this is going to be much better. Yeah.
I'm going to throw this out here. Everyone flames that, oh my god, Gurptuk's kit's so useless, just bring a 5th DPS or whatever in his place. I think Gurptuk's going to be really good in certain areas of the Void Tower. I think the Void Tower is going to have some bosses where, like, bursting them quickly or, like, you know, dealing high amounts of damage at the right time is going to be super important. I think his kit and what he does is really, really good. There's just not many places currently in the game where it's useful.
Damn, that would be actually really nice if they introduced that mechanic. Not that I want to go off topic, but, you know, I was a WoW player for 10 years, and, you know...
And you have, like, a burst phase.
Yeah, when that boss would enrage and you have to, like, go and use all your cooldowns and everything, I mean, that was one of the most, like, fun interactive moments that I ever had, like, playing a game. So that would be pretty cool if they introduced something like that. Yeah, for sure. And I like the logic that you thought outside the box there, Kolaru, with that. That makes a lot of sense. We got 2 left, guys.
However, people are still going to cry on Reddit that Gurptuk's the worst legendary. Guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's always going to be criers. There's always going to be people complaining. It's no matter what. You're never going to please the entire population, no matter what you do.
I feel for them, though, because, like, if you pull him early, like, I have someone who watches, like, Gurptuk was, like, their 2nd legendary. And it's like, actually, maybe with his change now, maybe you might actually be able to use him in dungeons as like a support, extra damage with some decent healing. But I feel for people who pull him really early and aren't even close to like actively using him, right?
Yeah, I mean, but that's the story of a gacha game. I mean, you're gonna get your good, you're gonna get your bad, and I mean, every single champion is gonna have some sort of niche somewhere in the game. So that's
yeah, that's fair.
That's how the game is. Dracomorph. So my Russian friend lied to me on this one. I said that his A1's no longer going to do surplus damage whatsoever. And I guess what it's going to be, it's not going to triple the surplus damage. It's just going to not crit. So pretty much it's like, it's the same thing, right? If you think about it. Because now it's not going to do the triple the damage and it's not going to crit.
No, it still does triple.
Oh, it still does triple?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically...
Oh, yeah, I'm reading
the reason it used to... So, you know, his A1 does, like, say, 100k damage.
Right.
But it would then bounce for, like, 600k.
Yeah.
So the issue with that is that he would do his A1. Let's say he hits for 100k. Mm-hmm. There's 40k... He does 50k damage and 50k left over. That 50k would then get run through his damage multipliers and crit damage again. So, like, he would bounce for, like, way more than the surplus actually was.
Yeah.
So now if you hit 100k, deal 50, you should bounce for like roughly 50. So like it's gonna do what it's meant to do now. Draco's been bugged the whole time, effectively.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell he was bugged because I mean, even in the world record sections, he's the main champion that can do like what 1.5-2 million damage like on an ice golem boss.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's ridiculous how high his A1 can surplus. So. Good change. I think he's still an insane champion. I don't think this changes his usage whatsoever. It just slightly nerfs him in the dungeons. But he's still amazing for clan boss. Still amazing everywhere.
My Ice Golem team is getting destroyed by this patch, dude. Because I run Siphi, double Rotos, double Draco.
Well, no, actually, wait a second.
Get good, man.
Just want to let you know.
Build a better team.
That by the time your 2 Rotoses are gonna get to the ice golem, they're both gonna be able to block revive because they're gonna have their HP maxed from the wave.
No, they're not. It resets.
It doesn't transfer to the rounds though.
Oh, it doesn't.
Nope, never did.
Okay, never mind. I'm glad you guys are here. I'll be passing on fake news.
Just run shields, defense down, and roll guards, easy claps. All the cool kids do it.
Nah, dude, we're like that's still a really risky team.
For your team.
What do you mean for my team?
I don't have problems.
Boomer,
I'd have like even less problems.
Boomer runs like a crazy high shield double Koronar team, and with Royal Guards.
Run Santa.
Let's not get off topic, guys.
If it's not 100%, it's not good.
We have the last but not least. The legendary, the free legendary that everybody's gonna get in 100 days,
quote unquote free.
There's been a big debate. I felt like it wasn't really free, but the truth is, it is free. This is the one and only time that Murder actually told me to shut the f*** up. ever being in his clan. When I argued with him,
definitely not the only time.
when I argued with him at the fact that he's not free because you still have to spend 360 of your points for 100 days to get him. But technically speaking, 2 battles gets you there, or 3 battles gets you there. So he was okay. I guess he was a spider. He helped a lot of people in spider as he is now, right? And he's getting some much needed love. So Burning Lash right now attacks all enemies, 40% chance of placing a provoke, booked to 60%. Now has a 50% chance of placing a provoke. This chance is increased by 100% if the target is under HP burn. Also places a 50% decrease attack buff for 2 turns if the provoke debuff is placed. So they increased the percentage chance by 10%, if I'm reading it right. And they added these extra abilities to the tooltip, to the abilities.
So my issue with this is it looks like a good buff on paper. However, in practice, let's be honest, Drexthar's only real use is being like a Spider 20 HP burn champion, right?
Clan boss as well.
Actually, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's decent in Clan boss. So in Clan boss, the provoke doesn't do anything because he can't be provoked, so it means nothing. And like the resist means nothing because you can't resist anything in Clan boss. So in Clan boss, he's the exact same. And then in Spider, the issue with him is that he didn't taunt 100%, and now he taunts 100% if they're under HP burn, but he can't HP burn until he's been hit, which he needs provoke to make them hit him to get HP burned. So they haven't actually changed him. The attack down is good. Don't get me wrong, the attack down's great, but I feel like they could have just made his HP burn or his taunt more reliable, and that was a better change.
What about his passive? So his passive right now has a 55% chance of placing an HP burn when hit. Has a 55% chance of placing an HP buff when hit on the attacker. So change the words. Has a 55% chance of placing HP burn debuff for 2 turns on the attacker when hit. So they changed the wording. This champion's resistance is increased by 10 for every enemy under HP burn debuff. Stacks up to 50. That is just the most useless passive addition I've ever seen, probably ever. What is 50 resistance going to do to Drexthar?
And it's only for every active. So my issue with this is, again, it's for Spider, so he gets poisoned less. So like it's good for Spider 20 because he gets poisoned less. However, anywhere else, it's like you say, it just doesn't do a thing.
So I think the whole idea what the company's done with this champion is that they've given people a way to beat Spider 20 by everybody having the ability to get this champion, because I was one of those people that took months and months to be able to beat Spider 20 just because I didn't have the proper champs. So yeah, it's
I think it's good that they're giving everyone the chance to basically like quote unquote guarantee you can clear Spider 20. Because like once you have an AoE HP burn, it's quite easy, to be honest. Anyone that can't beat Spider 20 once you have like Ultimate Gaelic, it's your own fault at that point.
100%.
But yeah, I feel like he's still not quite a legendary. I would say Ultimate Gaelic is still better than Drexthar for Spider.
Yeah, which is pretty sad.
Anybody else want to chime in? It's the last champion. I guess that's it. So I guess the last thing I want to just ask all of you guys is just overall feedback generally on the balance update itself. This is the first time that we ever had such a large balance update like this. For me, I would say that this is like a very positive one. I would say I'm like 80 to 90% happy with most of the changes done. I would love to get everyone's feedback.
I'm like 60-40.
60-40.
Quickly, before we go into this, though, are there any standout epic changes? Because I know Taurus got buffed, and like a bunch of champions got like HP scaling rather than attack scaling when they should have it. But like, are there any epic, like some people in chat say, are there any epics that like genuinely stand out as being good improvements? Like Alika's pretty good.
Yeah, Alika's really good.
I'll be honest, I didn't go through all of the epics. I saw Taurus and I kind of laughed because now he like
I'm skimming through them now. Like Rowan is decent. Cooldown reductions, higher chances at everything.
She's
That's
the one that
good.
scales with speed, right? I think Murder talked about her,
Yeah,
and
that's
he
weird.
tried to like crazy build her, and she really did not do much.
Yeah, but now she poisons
Her actual,
100%.
her debuff chances
That's-
have gone
that's
up
a
there,
big
which is
deal.
good.
Oh, it's 100% now.
Maybe
Look, yeah.
Suai Firstborn can help out new players with her 50% chance for placing decreased defense and also places a increased attack. That could help, I guess.
It's if it kills an enemy. I don't think that's great. The attack and crit damage is if it kills, but having a decreased defense on an A1 could be okay. I think that's her A1, right?
I think Jotun.
Yeah, that's
might
her
be okay
A1,
now.
I think.
Yeah, Jotun, I was about to say that. Kalari got to it. Jotun might be
Because
usable.
he now scales in HP. He's got pretty good HP, and his A3 now does 50% more damage on targets under HP burn, which is like going to be a decent damage increase. So
That's his kid.
Jotun might be pretty good now.
Is that Torvald's brother?
Yeah, it's totally
Yeah, that's his little brother. That's his
Little
weak
brother.
little bitch brother. Yo, Jotun, get over here. Oh, Turbo, man, please don't make me do it. Bitch, you better smite this mofo.
Does like 12k crits.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize to everybody here. I didn't really read any of the epic changes.
Hold on, someone kept talking about Hexia combined with Gurptuk, and I'm reading Hexia's kit now. And her
interesting.
A2, it's got an added thing. Damage increases by 7.5% for each debuff on this champion, stacks to 30%. So Hexia A2 combined with Gurptuk will double stack for like a 50% damage increase. And Soul Reap can hit decently
Plus the
hard.
mastery.
However, where in the game do you have a team that can afford to run Hexia alongside Gurptuk to do a higher single target hit?
Spider?
Maybe in like a really weird no, it's not. It's not max. It's not max HP.
Oh, it's not max HP. Okay.
So like this is maybe like an arena thing,
Like a meme arena team. I would love to see
I'm
Hexia
not
plus Gurptuk. I like f***ing Hexia in Faction Wars. Like just she A2s and then she kills my 2 Dracos and I just get sad. I actually, someone that's actually a really interesting point. I didn't actually look at this part of her. Could be interesting, honestly.
Yeah, Taurus too. Taurus is I mean, I don't understand them again. I mean, but thank you for making Xavier and Taurus combo. They're trying to make sure that we make a new record for dungeon. What is it, Dragon 20? Because now he can put 4 poisons up instead of 3.
You know what? People now can definitely use the Elenariel in Spider to blow the Spider up with the Taurus. Oh yeah, 2 Tauruses, Spider is done.
No shit.
Yeah. Plus the what's his name, Flesh Terror to extend the poisons. And that's it.
That might actually be a faster Spider team than mine currently, without having to deal with anything else.
It's gonna be like a 8-9 second team.
Wow. There you go, guys.
Does she prioritize the combust though? I thought she does the A2 first.
Yeah, she will.
Well, she does it under certain conditions, right? I understood that she prioritizes it. Something about her going first, if I wasn't mistaken, with Eleanor.
Yeah. Well, I've seen Eleanor. I've seen a few, and most of them had like a crazy fast Eleanor to A2 and then lap around and do A3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So no, what I'm asking Azazzel is if both of the Tauruses go, like, are you still saying Eleanor has to go both Tauruses?
Yeah,
and then
she has
back
to go
her?
first anyways. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you all so much. Who are we rating? Who wants to stream? We got 274 people here. Any of you guys on voice? Kolaru?
Just as a closing statement, I'm so happy Rotos got nerfed. I was late to that discussion, but Rotos.
You.
I have 2 of them, guys.
I don't think he got nerfed.
Both of them.
I don't feel like that's a nerf. Like, it is a nerf to a lot of people, but for us endgame players, doesn't.
I think it's a nerf
Strongly
to Rotos on
disagree.
defense.
Strongly.
I strongly disagree with the defense.
Block
Rotos is
debuff was
behind the
by
shield.
far the best part of his kit.
Like when a Rotos
Sorry,
hits you with an
block
A3
revive. I mean, block revive.
like when Rotos hits you with like an A3 on defense, like if you trigger him or whatever, that's now like irrelevant. You just pick the champion up and continue on with it, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
think
what I mean.
Gonna
Yeah.
be where the pain is. Oh, okay, sorry, we agree. Okay.
That's what I mean. Like now, when your madame or whoever fails to strip the shield from Rotos, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
But now he has the shield. You don't care. Yeah, let him go. Who cares?
Yeah.
My Siphi double Rotos Mountain King team, my Crutch team is very, very hurt.
Hold on,
That's
now,
good.
mate. My Siphi triple Rotos team is crying.
Yeah, we're all
But
gonna
no.
feel some pain. I mean, I don't even know how I'm gonna use my Trunda now.
I never even use him.
Guys, like,
But-
go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, I know we're kind of closing now, but I just wanted to say that I spoke with Diamond in the content creator chat. I gave him my feedback on Rotos. Maybe he was just telling me this. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but from what he said, because like they're not going to revert him like they did Duchess, right? But from what he said, Rotos is they're releasing these nerfs on him, but he said that they're going to keep a very close eye on him, and depending on how he functions afterwards, they might. Obviously not full revert, but they might take a second look at some of the changes. That could have been, blown smoke.
All
or
right,
could
so
be
Even
true,
more.
Not sure.
everyone, take Rotos out of your team and you'll get buffed again. Big
Yes.
brain plays.
So I would have to say that the one champion that they very much kept a close eye on is Tormund. How many times has that guy been changed? Like, so they do keep close eyes on some
Most
things.
of them bug fixes, though.
Yeah.
He's only been actually changed.
Okay, so he came out broken, and they still trying to fix him to this day. That's the problem with that.
Nine months
really
later, by
is
the way.
that really is the truth. That really is the truth. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Are any of you guys gonna stream now, or should I raid Mr. Thram?
Nah.
I'm not ready to stream, unfortunately.
Azazzel, what are you doing? Come on, man.
Yeah,
I'm going
Azazzel
back to
stream,
sleep. Guys, no.
You sure?
Yeah,
I'd love to
Azazzel,
have
give us a
a
stream.
stream, but
no,
Come on.
I know he's under the weather a little bit.
no,
Guys,
no.
thank you
I
s-
can't. I can't physically.
Saffron Man streaming.
Sorry.
Thank you all
Nah, mate.
so much. We're gonna try to.
Kolaru.
Can we raid
Damn.
someone that has like one viewer just for a meme? Like PT Pang, can we raid him? He's got literally one.
Do you
viewer.
know them?
I have no idea who he is.
I
mean,
would
Mr.
probably not do what someone you don't know.
Yeah,
I love
I
doing
just
that. I
I
love
owe
just picking
Mr.
someone else
Thram
like
though.
zero.
Mr. Thram has been super awesome, and he's been part of the community for a very long time. He's rated
Oh,
me
yeah.
like 20
Let's
times.
Yeah,
raid him,
hell
man.
yeah, dude, Mr. Tam.
I've never rated him once.
Mr. Hummus, I love him.
Dude, he's fun. I really like watching
Hummus.
him.
He's real good fun.
So we'll head over there afterwards.
Let's
I'll-
go.
Oh wait, before we raid, nerf Trunda.
Yes,
Shut
holy
the
yes.
fuck up. La, 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 la,
Yo,
la.
this is done. We're not talking about that.
Shut the fuck up.
Trunda's OP. Nerf.
Oh man,
no.
it's so